precise moment, chosen uniquely for your soul. There is something here for you that your heart has longed for, something only I, your God, can reveal. Feel the anticipation rising within you. There is a hidden treasure embedded in these words, wisdom that will move you forward, healing that you have not yet imagined, and a new perspective that will open doors you thought were forever closed. You matter so deeply to me that I have drawn you close, right now, so you would not miss what is about to come forth. Pause and realize the difference in this message is that it is not one more encouragement. It is my living, breathing voice, speaking to you personal, intentional, and overflowing with love just as I have always spoken to. My beloved, your life is precious, your pain is real, and your questions have echoed into the heavens. Let me walk with you now, as I whisper my heart into yours. You may feel the weight of the world, the pull to surrender to discouragement, or the temptation to believe the pain is too heavy to carry another step. But listen closely. Do not give up. My child, you are braver than you know, for I myself crafted courage in your bones. You have been set apart with a purpose so mighty, so full of meaning, that the world itself cannot contain the blessing I have planned through you. I am confirming the plans I have for your life, not plans of harm or emptiness, but of hope and great fulfillment. Take my hand, step by gentle step. Together, we will overcome dangers, climb impossibly high walls, and defeat enemies arrayed against you. I call you to persistence, to rise again and again, because your story is not yet finished, and your purpose will be fulfilled in the land of the living. You are not a random detail adrift on this earth. Your name is eternal, written in my book since before time began, cherished before your first heartbeat, long before your first tears. I loved you. Long before you fell, I was already reaching out to catch you. There came a day when your eyes began to open, when my light first gleamed in your spirit, and though you sometimes feel the press of questions and doubts, it is not to shame you, but to draw you ever nearer. I have heard those unspoken words, the wondering of where I was as you suffered, and this is my answer. I have always been alongside you, waiting for you to trust me with your whole heart. Trust that I am able and willing to heal your wounds, not only to cleanse the stain of sin, but to erase the echoes of anguish that haunt your memory. My blood has removed every wrong, yes, but I desire to remove the bitter memories that you replay again and again. If you only look back, you reopen old wounds and inflict new pain. But beloved, you are alive today. This moment right now is proof of fresh mercy and the promise of new beginnings. From this day forward, you will witness miracles, taste blessings, see dreams unfold into reality, and discover hopes you thought were lost. I will restore the joy of your youth. I will reawaken your strength. Set your gaze upon the radiant horizon, for there I have planted seeds that are bursting forth in secret. Seeds of laughter, seeds of abundance, seeds of adventure you have not yet dared to imagine. Prepare for a supernatural chapter, for your heart is being readied, softened, healed, and filled with a joyful confidence for the new challenges and delights of your calling. The agony of yesterday has lost its power. You do not need to rehearse your regrets. I have not just forgiven your past. I have paid your debt in full. There is no condemnation from me, so do not bind yourself with the opinions or rejection of others. If those around you cannot offer forgiveness, simply walk free into new relationships where your value is recognized. It is not my will for you to be trampled underfoot by those who reject my spirit. No worldly contract or demand is worth your suffering or humiliation. Walk away from that which enslaves your heart, especially from those who twist my words for their own control. You are free. Step boldly from captivity into spacious places I have prepared. Those you love, even your own children, are not outside my reach. I will watch over them as I am watching over you. Today, you may not realize the magnitude of this rescue, but you will look back in gratitude, remembering that I intervened because my love cannot be silent. If you long to stay in places or with people who diminish your worth, I will not force you. But know that my desire is for your honor, your flourishing, your freedom. Suffering is not your destiny. You are my beloved child, purchased at the cost of my own life. What more shall I do to convince you of your value? Ask, and you will see wonders beyond anything you could have known. Cry out, and I will answer with signs. If only you dare to believe that I am faithful and true. Remain no longer trapped in cycles of regret or the comfort of familiar brokenness. Like a traveler called from a desert to a fertile land, I beckon you now, leave behind what no longer serves your soul. Ahead of you is the dream I promised, a land soaked in blessing where every need is met by the trees of my provision. I say this with great affection, for my love flows for you deeper than the oceans, higher than all the heavens. If you could see yourself as I do, through the eyes of eternity, your knees would bend, your heart would erupt with gratitude, your soul would fill with love for your own life. You would break the chains that hold you back, for courage will rise like a mighty river within your spirit when you hear my voice. You are already victorious because of my sacrifice, because of the new life I gave you. The door to my presence is wide open. Come close, come boldly, with thankfulness and humility. Test me, and I will reveal the kindness of my heart in special ways just for you. Settle in next to me. Look with the eyes of faith, and you will know. You are deeply, completely blessed, an heir of all that is mine. I remind you again, everything I have, I offer you freely. It is already promised, already written. Ask, and I will satisfy you with goodness from unexpected places. I will nourish you with the finest gifts and declare over you, do not quit, do not despair. Your life is rich with purpose, pressed down and overflowing with a love so vast, your mind cannot contain it. You do not need to understand it for it to be real. Simply believe, feel, and walk day by day in the knowledge that I am with you. This is my heart for you, spoken not in old distant language, but as one who stands by your side, who sees your strength and your sorrow, your public smile and private pain. I see through the mirror you hold before yourself. I see deeper than skin and circumstance. I see the true core, the child whom I delight in, the warrior who refuses to break. Even if your heart trembles, come and tell me your thoughts. I will gather every tear with tenderness and raise you from the dust. Release the weight of your burdens, give them to me, for I alone can carry them fully. It is your blessing to be called my child, and with that comes a shower of gifts and marvels, not just for you, but for all those you love. You will see your inner life fill with joy and gratitude as my guidance proves unfailing. I am with you always. My angels stand watch along your path, keeping you from harm, guiding you when you are uncertain. Wake up each day searching for me, and you will see how your days become drenched in my sweet love. Should trouble arise unexpectedly, speak to me first. I will brighten your understanding and give you wisdom to choose the right path. You have the certainty that I seek only your good. I know what you deserve, and I mirror back to you the loyalty of your own heart. Ask with sincerity, and according to my good will, it will be given. You are the son, the daughter of the Almighty. What greater security could you need? No one can stand permanently against you nor break you down when I am near. With gentle hands I guide you, walking with you each moment. Every venture and dream you commit to me will prosper, because I alone know your future. I alone can see beyond the mountains and valleys that confuse your eyes. Your family is under the protection of my spirit. Poverty and misfortune will not consume you, for my presence covers and pushes back what seeks to devour or destroy. Loved one, your faith, even if small, is the mighty seed that becomes a sheltering tree. Even when you feel smallest, destined to be overlooked, I delight in causing you to grow tall and strong. My word is not mere air, it is living power. If you speak with faith, mountains of impossibility will move. Never doubt my constancy. I am the God who is faithful no matter the shifting circumstances or the shadows that flicker around your life. I have pledged never to leave you. I will love you beyond the end of all ages. I understand you completely. Each feeling, each thought, every impulse of hope or fear. You are fully known, entirely, and wonderfully made by my hand. Let go of bitterness and the longing for vengeance. This only tangles your spirit. Pray for those who have injured you. Their emptiness is not as it seems. Entrust them to me. I know how to soften the hardest heart. Fix your gaze on me and my promises, not on pointless entanglements or comparisons. Since your first breath I have accompanied you, shaping the courage that pulses within your veins. This same courage, I see it rising in you even now, preparing you for greater things than any opposition can ever destroy. Just keep believing. Hold fast to this faith, and you will see the transformation only I can bring. The wounds of your past will close. Soon, pain will no longer define you. This, right now, is your turning point. Lift up your hands, surrender your heart to me, and receive new life. Do not dread tomorrow, for this year will shift the path of your story as you cling to the love I freely give. I come to you in strength, dispelling old anxieties and infusing your spirit with unshakable courage. You will see nothing you endure is wasted. Every struggle carries the seed of an eternal reward. Let me show you who you truly are. Never measure your worth by past losses or even past victories. My love for you is ever increasing, purposeful, and true. All you have faced has prepared you for the outpouring on your life and family. Keep your heart steady. Focus not on the failures you see in those you love, for there is growth and transformation coming. Even those who have wounded you will grow, and you will witness my restoration in your home. Above all, when discipline is required, do so from a place of calm, rooted in my presence. Speak to me before you react, and I will breathe peace into your soul, teaching you to lead and love with gentleness. Your home will become a haven of harmony and happiness, a place where I am honored from sunrise to dusk. I am with you in the quiet hours of the night and at the brightness of dawn. As you rest, I speak dreams into your heart, reminding you that you are never alone in any moment of the day. Even in times of uncertainty or overload, I will supply the wisdom, clarity, and direction you need. You have so often surpassed what I asked, taking bold steps in moments when your strength faltered, remaining steadfast in your devotion. Every seed you planted, patience, faith, acts of kindness has taken root, destined to blossom into blessings greater than you have dreamed. You are crossing into a season where past disappointments and betrayals will no longer shape your story. When those around you bring up old hurts to wound or ridicule you, remember the courage that brought you this far. Draw your sense of triumph not from others' validation, but from my faithfulness in the promises I have spoken into your soul. I myself will stand against any enemy that seeks to darken your mind or confuse your purpose. When doubts threaten or you are overwhelmed by decisions, retreat into my presence. There you will discover the solace and hope that the world cannot steal. Rest in the assurance that I have never been far from your suffering. Every weight you carried I have watched with compassion, never sending you a trial you could not bear. From the deepest valley, I have already planned your rescue, already arranged the lifting of every heavy burden. My dream for you is joy upon joy, not loneliness or isolation. Even now, the invention of your blessing provokes opposition. But remember, your faith is the sword that clears every blockade. If you give a foothold to fear and resentment, you will sink. But if my spirit has the first place in your life, you will emerge unbroken. I have done my part. I have secured your salvation. given you an inheritance far richer than the world offers. Now, remain steadfast. It is no accident that you receive this word at just the right moment, for you stand at the threshold of spiritual maturity where miracles become natural in your daily walk. Do not undo all you've gained by doubting or turning back. Your effort, your tears, your late-night prayers, none are wasted. Even if others do not notice or thank you, I see all, and the true reward is near. As you continue, know that I have sent my angels to surround you, to secure your peace, to keep sorrow and sickness at a distance. You will overflow with gratitude and leap with joy at the victories I will reveal in your life. Never allow pride to take root. Humility is the key that unlocks even greater blessing. Stand firm, knowing I am right beside you, shielding you from harm, enabling you to conquer anything that opposes my plan. It is time to lift your face, letting go of bitterness, shame, and the memory of all offenses. Enjoy the gifts I am laying before you. Every promise I have made is true and alive. My Creator's heart delights in your story, and my presence will never leave you. Listen, my beloved. The gifts I pour out are not given for their own sake, but as a celebration of my love for you. Whether you are awake or asleep, know that I am near, healing, restoring, and preparing you for days of overflowing joy. When anxiety tries to uproot you, remember that each day, with a grateful heart, opens you to fresh mercies. This season of trial is coming to an end. My divine breath is blowing away the storm clouds. Your new dawn is at hand. In your silence, in your worship, in your prayers, be honest with me. I find beauty not in perfect words, but in your sincere longing for my embrace. Your praise in the midst of struggle is the sweetest sound. Your resilience stirs my joy, and your faith activates the miraculous. There are times when I am quiet, not because I am absent, but because I am delighting in the spectacle of all I have in store for you. Your battles are not for nothing. Your dedication is precious, your loyalty not unseen. Even now, waves of blessing are poised to be poured over you. None of it is accidental, none of it wasted. You have seen with your own eyes that the impossible becomes possible when you hold fast to the hope I give. Let no voice of accusation or comparison diminish your confidence. No one gets the final word over your destiny except me. You are part of my cherished flock, and your struggle, your effort, your journey through hardship, all of it has meaning. No setback can remove you from the circle of my favor. I am your source, your defender, your loving Father. Do not be pulled back by those who have not understood your worth. Instead, seek out the fellowship of the faithful, the ones who speak life and courage, who draw out the best in you as I do. If you open your heart fully, I will flood it with such certainty and joy that fear will never again hold you captive. My grace is strong enough to cover every error, every weakness. I know your desire is to follow me. As you renew your dedication and step into my presence each new day, my mercy meets you not 7, not 70 times, but without limit. I long for your freedom and your joy. That is why I call you to start each day anew with fresh confidence in my faithfulness. Give your worries, your family into my hands, and watch as the plans I have prepared begin to unfold. Many will say that your chance is past, that the shadow of your history cannot be erased, but they do not know the depth of my love or the finality of my forgiveness. I have wiped away all accusation, made you new, given you a future unstained by the failures of yesterday. Steady your mind and heart. When you wake, let prayer mark your first breath. When you are weary, trust that I am the one who revives you. When you are burdened by decisions or confusions, come to me. My guidance is unfailing, my care uninterested in your performances or failures. Today I break every curse spoken over you, dissolve every shadow of illness and lack, and release you into a wide place of destiny. No evil can prosper against you. No voice of discouragement can drown out my spirit. Should crisis appear, do not lose your calm. My shelter stands, My faithfulness is your shield. Walk in the reality of this love, not because you can comprehend it, but because you choose to let me lead. Even now, can you sense my presence wrapping around you, gentle, steadfast, unrelenting? You are not alone. Your spirit is radiant, your story a testimony to the living God. Everything you face, I have already accounted for. Nothing will overwhelm you because my spirit within you is stronger than all the darkness without. Come now, lay aside every anxious thought. Know that you are chosen, called, and loved beyond all measure or reason. I, your God, am for you and not against you. Stand tall in this truth. Let every day be an act of gratitude and joy. Amen. Go and share this truth, letting your life be a vessel of my blessing to the world. I have seen the hidden concerns in your heart, the questions you scarcely dare to whisper, even in the quietest moments. Nothing escapes my notice. Your every anxiety, every hope, and every yearning for clarity is before me. I dwell not far off, but close beside you, more attuned to your struggles than even you are yourself. In this journey, uncertainty may seem like a shadow that looms over you, yet even in the presence of uncertainty, I am the light that never dims. When you wonder about your purpose, or ask yourself whether you are enough, I am already answering you by drawing you nearer into my embrace. Rest assured, you are exactly where you need to be for the transformation that I desire to work within you. You need not strive to impress me with perfection. The world may push you toward unattainable standards, convincing you that your value is measured by your achievements or masked by your failures. Yet my gaze is fixed, not on your performance, but on your heart. The secret wounds you carry, the heaviness that lingers when no one else seems to notice, are precious to me. Draw close to me with honesty, acknowledging the places where you feel weak, for it is here that my strength finds its home. I am not deterred by your battles. Instead, I am the one who stands at your side, urging you forward with promises that cannot be broken. In seasons of waiting, you may believe I am silent, but listen more carefully. My presence is found in the quiet, in the peace that settles deep inside when everything outside feels uncertain. Let your heart become attuned to the whispers of reassurance that I offer. When your path is unknown, I am already ahead of you, preparing what is needed for the next step and equipping you with each trial for what lies ahead. Every tear, every sigh, and every joy is known to me, and nothing is wasted in my hands. The challenges you endure can reveal the depth of your resilience and uncover layers of faith you did not know were there. I have chosen you for more, even when you cannot yet see it. Inside you is potential waiting to awaken, dreams I have planted and nurtured, hope still growing beneath the surface. Do not measure the worth of a day by its visible fruit. Some days are meant for sowing in hidden places, for nurturing growth that will show itself in time. Trust in my timing, for the seed must break open in darkness before it rises to meet the light. In every patient step, you are participating in a process I cherish. Let your soul believe that the unseen work is just as vital as what is displayed for all to admire. My love for you does not waver in your moments of fatigue or doubt. It deepens, surrounding and uplifting you even more. Place your burdens before me. Let go of the weight you are not meant to carry, and discover the peace that blooms from surrender. There is healing available for your hidden wounds, healing that comes not just in a flash, but in the slow and steady warmth of my affection. My comfort is not shallow or fleeting. It anchors you, filling the hollow spaces with assurance and hope. Open your heart to me, and if you find it difficult, simply offer me your honest struggle. Even the weakest cry attracts my attention. There is no shame in your need. There is dignity in bringing your brokenness before me. This openness is not a flaw, but the very pathway to restoration and fresh strength. You are never left to face your doubts alone, for in your need, my presence grows all the more tangible and real. Let me remind you, hope is not the denial of pain, but the presence of promise in the midst of it. I do not ignore your suffering. Instead, I redeem it, weaving it into a story whose ending is more joyful than you can now imagine. When the night seems long, do not abandon hope. Every dawn is proof of renewal, and I am the one guiding you through the night into the brilliance of morning. If fear whispers that you are unworthy or that your story is finished, let my voice override those lies. I speak life, renewal, and purpose over you. No failure, no disappointment, no grief is strong enough to separate you from the love I lavish upon you. I have called you by name. You are mine, and in that belonging you find your greatest assurance. Though you may be tempted to compare your journey to others, remember, I delight in the uniqueness of your walk. The path I have set before you is handcrafted, shaped by wisdom and love only I can offer. You do not need to hurry or try to meet another's pace, for your steps are appointed and accompanied by me every moment. Celebrate the small victories, for every inch forward matters. I rejoice in your progress, even as you learn to see yourself with the kindness through which I view you. When shame seeks to cloud your mind, let my truth dispel it. Shame has no claim on you where my grace resides. When you struggle to trust me with your choices, your loved ones, your unanswered prayers. Know that I am steadfast. My patience with you outlasts your doubts. There is no question too bold for me, no fear that I cannot embrace in quiet. If you risk vulnerability with me, I promise to respond with understanding and generous love. I do not recoil from your messiness. I draw close, tending to the very places you would rather hide. You are safe to bring your honest heart, to lay bare your questions, to admit confusion, and to search for direction. I am not distant or disinterested. I am alive to your every emotion and engaged in your story, desiring to rewrite despair into hope. Restore your courage by remembering that my love for you began before you did a single thing to earn it. You are not chosen because of your accomplishments. You are cherished because you are mine. My affection is not fragile. It cannot be broken by your worst day or diminished by your doubts. Let this certainty return to you when everything else shifts and shakes. I am the anchor that keeps you steady, the quiet assurance in chaos, and the faithful companion in loneliness. Welcome me into your moments, whether bright or shadowed, and watch as I transform the ordinary into evidence of my glory. My invitation is always open, uncomplicated by requirements or conditions. Come as you are, with your fears, with your dreams, with your uncertainties. I will meet you there, bringing light to your shadows and hope to your weariness, for nothing you carry is too much for me, and nothing you hide surprises me. My presence is gentle and restoring, and I am always at work nudging you forward, holding you back from harm, gently guiding your steps, and writing grace into the margins of every page of your life. Everything within you is seen by me, depths and corners you hardly dare to touch yourself. In this trust, let your guard fall, for there is nothing about you that startles me. No thought too dark, no story too tangled, no longing too fierce. I made you, and I do not step away when you tremble. Instead, I step closer, pressing my presence around your weakness as a warm blanket against the chill. Even when you strive to hide, it is not shame that I bring when I draw near, but a gentle invitation. Come, let me show you who you truly are through my eyes. My gaze cuts through self-doubt and layers of fear, uncovering a beloved child marked not by past mistakes but by the promise woven into your being since before you were born. When you open yourself to me, even just a sliver, you grant permission for healing to begin. I never force myself into the closed spaces of your heart. Rather, I wait, attentive to your smallest gesture of surrender. Let me enter. Let me speak not with thunder, but with a whisper of reassurance. Those wounds you carry so cautiously are not a burden to me. They are places where I want to pour out comfort and new hope. You may believe that your efforts to change, to become better, are the measure of your worth. But look to me, for I am the one who defines you, the one who has already called you worthy by virtue of my steadfast love. Let your defenses down in the shelter of my embrace. When you are weary from striving to prove yourself, or exhausted by the weight of never feeling quite enough, breathe. You were never meant to bear that load alone. Bring me your exhaustion and your tears, your confusion and even your anger. I do not turn away at the expression of your deepest frustrations. In my presence, honesty is safe. There is no need for polished words or careful explanations. I know the story underneath every silence, the prayer hidden beneath your sighs. Let yourself rest, truly rest, in my company. I see the longing you have for meaning, the ache to know your life matters and that your days are more than fleeting shadows. Trust that your existence is not accidental, nor is it insignificant. Every moment of your journey matters to me, the bright laughter as much as the hidden struggle. Even when you wander or lose your way, I am not far behind, never resigned to your falling, but always inviting you to rise once again. My mercy does not tire, it does not keep score, nor run out. It meets you new each morning, and my invitation into purpose stands unfailing. You may wonder how my love could truly be for you, especially when failures and regrets weigh so heavily. But my love is not as fragile as human affection. It is not earned. It is offered freely because it flows from who I am. I am constant, faithful, unchanging, and so is my affection for you. In moments when you doubt, scatter those doubts at my feet. Let me show you how patiently I remain, how my favor does not depend on your flawless performance, but on my unwavering choice to call you mine. There are places inside you that hunger for peace, the kind that cannot be manufactured by perfect circumstances or fleeting achievements. I offer a peace that settles in the center of your being, even when storms rage outside. Come, be still in my presence. Listen beyond the noise of your anxieties. I am not asking you to quiet your heart by force, but to listen. I am here. You are not alone, not even in the depths of uncertainty or the valley of shadows. Take comfort in this assurance: you are held, secure in a love that does not falter when seasons change. I have seen every path you have walked, every decision made in hope or fear, and none have placed you beyond my reach. Do not believe the lie that you must fix yourself before coming close. I delight in you as you are, even as I gently draw you forward into healing and growth. All I desire is your heart, willing to trust me enough to take the next step. Bring me your hesitations and your insecurities, for in every small act of openness, transformation has space to begin. There is nothing too broken for me to restore, nothing so lost that I cannot redeem. You may sometimes feel invisible, forgotten, or overlooked by the world. Know this: never for a moment have you slipped from my view or my care. Your worth does not ride on others noticing you, understanding you, or validating you. It is anchored in my steadfast personal attention, a gaze never distracted, never indifferent. When you feel unseen, come to me. Let my delight in you answer the ache for belonging. I do not compare you to others, nor do I weigh your value on the same shifting scales. There is a calling unique to your life, planted in you like a seed, entrusted to my faithful nurturing. Let go of the pressure to mimic another's path or pace. I am writing a story with your days that is unlike any other, marked by the fingerprints of my creativity. The gifts within you are no accident. The desires that awaken compassion and joy in your heart are signposts pointing to purpose. Trust that as you walk with me, I will bring clarity, opportunity, and direction in due time. Repentance is not about groveling in guilt or living in perpetual apology. It is a turning of your heart, again and again, toward my mercy and my invitation. When you feel far, do not delay out of fear of rejection. I am always ready to receive you. I welcome the heart that turns even slightly in my direction. Release your grip on shame. My forgiveness is not rationed or reluctant, but abundant and free. For every fear that stalks your mind, every worry that robs your peace, I am near. Trust me with your anxious thoughts. Share them with me as you would with a friend, in honesty and without pretense. I will not let you drown beneath the weight of uncertainty. Lean into me and discover that my comfort is deeper than the darkest night, and my strength is made perfect in your need. You are not called to walk alone or to pretend strength you do not feel. I am your refuge, your ever-present help. In the journey that we walk together, I see how often your heart is pulled between promises and doubts, between hope and the shadows that press closely. You wrestle with questions in the quiet of your soul, yearning for assurance, for evidence that you are not forgotten, that the love I proclaim is not for others only, but for you, exactly as you are. I want you to understand how tenderly I know you, every nuance of your laughter, every sigh pressed deep beneath your ribs, every silent prayer uttered into the uncertain night. My love is not abstract or distracted. It wraps itself around your uniqueness and cradles you as you unfold with every new dawn. Yet, you often run from my embrace, thinking you must first shape yourself into perfection before you stand boldly before me. My heart grieves each time you hide, not because of your shortcomings, but because you deprive yourself of the peace that comes only from my presence. Come as you are. Bring me your fragile courage, your restless worries, your trembling confessions. I am not surprised by anything you reveal. I knew you before the world heard your first cry, and I called you beloved before you learned to doubt your worth. Look at the seasons as they turn, how winter's cold yields to spring's gentle promise. How barren trees awaken with new life by an unseen urging. So too, your life is carried on the breath of my spirit, drawing you toward healing and hope even when you cannot see it. Sometimes, growth happens in the hidden places, where roots push deeper, unseen by any eyes but mine. Do not despise the slow, quiet work I am doing. Trust that I do not waste even an ounce of your pain or longing, but fashion it into strength and wisdom over time. You are not meant to walk these pathways alone, carrying burdens that seem too heavy for your strength. I have always designed you for dependence, not as weakness, but as the deep wellspring of love between creator and created, between shepherd and sheep. Let go of the lie that you must have all the answers, or that your value lies only in your accomplishments. When you rest in me, you come to know that your worth is anchored in my delight over you, not in what you achieve or fail to achieve. I rejoice in your being, not just your doing. When setbacks whisper the language of discouragement, reminding you of promises that feel withheld, remember that I am never late, and I never forget what I have spoken to your heart. The timing that frustrates you is the very process that forges resilience and trust within you, a sacred invitation to lean further into my faithfulness. You are learning to see beyond your present horizon, to hope not in fleeting circumstances, but in the unshakable reality of who I am. Every delay is not a denial, but a preparation, making room for something more beautiful than you imagined. Lift your gaze above the temporary storms. Let your soul remember that storms do not last forever. I am with you in the wind and rain, not as a distant observer, but as the steady hand that holds you secure. When you feel overwhelmed by your emotions, let them run to me. Pour out your laments and your praises alike, for I am big enough for all you bring. In my presence, even sorrow is woven into joy, and despair becomes the soil from which hope blooms again. Sometimes I answer swiftly, shaping miracles in the span of a heartbeat. Other times, my answer is patience, layering grace upon grace until you can see, in hindsight, that no moment was wasted. Each tear has been gathered, each sigh considered, and every longing is precious to me. Do not measure my goodness by the immediacy of outcomes, but by the unwavering constancy of my love that carries you whether in celebration or sorrow. Let your heart find its rest in my promises. You do not have to manufacture peace, for peace is not the absence of trouble but the presence of my spirit within you. Receive my quiet assurance right now. Even when you feel weak, my strength is made perfect in your surrender. Yield your striving, and let yourself be loved without conditions. Let me remind you that you belong, always and forever, in the sanctuary of my heart. There are blessings uniquely prepared for you, gifts with your name written in grace. Your journey is not meant to be a mere shadow of someone else's. I take joy in your distinct voice, your particular dreams, your individual victories. Comparison only clouds your view of the masterpiece I am making of your life. Trust that if I take care of flowers that last but a day and birds that do not sow or reap, I will certainly care for every detail that concerns you. Bring me your questions, your wrestling and your wonderings, for I am not threatened by your doubts. In fact, I welcome your honest heart, however messy or raw it may feel. I am not looking for ritual perfection, but authentic relationship, a heart that seeks, even when it does not fully understand. When you draw near to me, I reveal myself more deeply, inviting you to discover new facets of my love you have never seen before. There is rest for your weary steps. Each time the night seems long, allow my words to be like gentle rain over your spirit, softening the hard places, washing away shame and fear. My love is a river that never runs dry, and its current steadily draws you toward purpose and joy, even if the path feels hidden. Settle into the knowledge that I am with you in every moment, quietly rejoicing in your progress, and showering you with mercies new with every morning. You are not abandoned, not disqualified, not too late. What you see as a failure or delay, I see as part of an unfolding story crafted with wisdom and compassion. Trust me to write chapters you could never have predicted, to bring full circles where you knew only dead ends. My plans for you are formed out of goodness, mercy, and a vision that sees all things accomplished for your lasting joy. If your heart aches with longing for things yet unseen, let that longing be a song you sing to me. I am the listener who hears every longing, the comforter who meets every ache, the redeemer who brings beauty from what is broken. You are seen deeply and intimately in every season, and nothing about your journey surprises or disappoints me. Stay close to me, and let every step, whether faltering or fearless, be woven into my perfect love story for you. Even when questions swirl in your heart, I am near, listening to each silent cry. There are aches within you, longings that seem bottomless, shadows that threaten to consume. Yet, I have etched your name upon my hand, and my gaze does not slip from you, not for a moment. I see you beneath the surface, beyond the masks you sometimes wear for others. I see the trembling and the courage, the flickers of hope rising within you, and the difficulties that make you feel small. But remember, you are not a fleeting thought to me. You are my beloved, shaped by my deep intention, chosen and cherished before you even drew your first breath. In moments when your strength fails, let me be your strength. When you reach the end of what you can handle, do not despair, for that is the beginning of my power in you. Surrender is not defeat. It is the place where my endless life begins to flow freely through every barren place. Can you trust that what you bring, no matter how little it may seem, is enough when placed in my hands? My child, I specialize in transforming small offerings into abundant joy, weaving together the frayed edges of your story into a tapestry marked by hope. Perhaps you feel unseen, your quiet sacrifices left unacknowledged by those around you. Hear me. Not a single act of kindness, not even a whispered prayer, escapes my notice. I gather up every tender thought, every gentle gesture, and I treasure them. Even the smallest deed done in love becomes monumental in my kingdom, resonating beyond what you can see. You may wonder sometimes if the love you give is worth anything, if the burdens you bear have purpose. Trust that nothing is wasted, not one tear shed in the darkness, not one moment of faith when all seemed lost. I am able to bring beauty from every place you feel spent and weary. Where you see emptiness, I see soil ready for new life. The seeds you've sown in hope, though at times buried deep, are not lost to me. In the quiet patience of waiting, I am nurturing growth within you, preparing you to flourish in my time. You often want results now, change now, peace now. I know how you clutch at timelines, imagining that blessing means immediate transformation. Yet, my wisdom is not hindered by your impatience. What is slow to you is purposeful to me. The pauses and delays in your journey are not idle time, but sacred space. I am doing a work in you that could not be hurried. Waiting is not punishment, it is preparation. In the places where I seem silent, I am sharpening your faith, anchoring your trust, and teaching you to listen beyond the noise. Lean into these moments, uncomfortable though they may be, with the assurance that I am crafting resilience in you. The path you walk wins deliberately. Receive strength from knowing I walk ahead, beside, and behind you. Your story continues even in the pauses. Your hope lives on even in the stillness, and your purpose deepens with every step taken close to me. Sometimes you carry burdens that are not yours to bear. You shoulder the expectations of others, try to meet every need, solve every problem, and hold together what feels like it's falling apart. My beloved, you were never meant to be your own savior, nor the rescuer of everyone around you. You can lay these burdens down at my feet, truly and fully. I invite you to surrender the weight you grip so tightly, to release the need to control outcomes and instead rest in my sufficiency. It is not your striving, but your trust that brings restoration. Breathe deeply now. In the space you free by letting go, I will fill you with my unwavering peace. There is no shame in your weakness, only opportunity for my strength to be revealed more clearly. You are not held up by your own effort, but by my faithful embrace. Let me speak gently to your doubt and your self-condemnation. When you stumble, do not hide from me, or imagine that I turn away in disappointment. I am the God who seeks you out in your wandering, who draws near in your mess, who lifts you up when shame would press you down. There is no darkness in you that my light cannot dispel, no guilt that my mercy cannot wash clean. Your failures do not define you, they do not frighten me, nor surprise me. I have already made provision for every faltering step, every regret, every fear. You do not need to cover yourself with pretense before me. Come as you are, honest and unvarnished. Even the places you consider unlovable are beloved by me. Nothing you could reveal would ever diminish my affection or dampen my hope for you. Yet, even as you come with your wounds, I am inviting you onward. There is growth ahead, healing waiting, new depths of joy and understanding yet to be experienced. Let your heart breathe in the possibility that what lies ahead can be different, richer, freer than what you have known. Where you fear endless cycles of disappointment, let me assure you, I am the one who breaks chains and ushers in new beginnings. What feels final to you is simply another page in the work I am writing. Live not from your old patterns, but from the ongoing story of redemption I am weaving in and through you. Each moment surrendered to me is a seed sown for a future you cannot yet imagine. With me, you are not imprisoned by your past or trapped by your present limits. My grace is sufficient to rewrite the scripts that echo in your mind, the judgments you or others have made about who you will always be. If you listen closely, you will hear my gentle invitation to believe something different, to believe that transformation is not just possible, but certain when you walk with me. As you follow, step by trembling step, newness grows. Let old labels fall away. Receive from me a new name, rooted in belovedness and purpose. Let go of the narratives that keep you bound to shame or fear. Embrace the truth that I am making all things new, including you. Let hope awaken again in the dry places of your heart. Start small if you must. A single word of gratitude, a single act of courage, a single moment of prayer is enough to open space for me. I honor the smallest beginnings. I nurture every flicker of hope until it grows strong. My child, you are not alone in the rebuilding, nor responsible to create the harvest on your own. You are part of my unfolding story, and even now, my hand is on you, guiding, providing, and breathing new life where all seemed lost. Let me draw you still deeper into my heart. As you journey forward, notice how every thought, every longing in you, is known to me even before you speak. You are never lost in the crowd, never hidden among many, for I see you with unwavering focus. Each moment, I lovingly attend to what you need, even those desires you can barely voice. When you ache, I am not far or passive. My presence is like a gentle hand, offering solace, giving you rest when burdens press. You may wonder at times why answers seem slow in coming, or why the road bends through hardship. In these moments, trust that I am patiently working within you, shaping the very core of your being, establishing roots that will hold fast when storms arise. My timing and wisdom are perfect, though often veiled from your immediate understanding. As you wait, I stir hope in you. I teach you endurance, not as punishment, but as preparation for greater fullness. In the quiet, I am closer than your breath, whispering assurance that you are loved beyond measure, and that your life is surrounded by my providence. I am not only the God of mountaintop moments, where joy is full and clarity sharp, but also the God who walks with you through valleys, shadowed or uncertain. Your questions do not frighten me. Bring every doubt, every confusion, every unfulfilled hope to me. Come honestly, come even with your disappointment, and I will meet you with kindness. I am patient with your process, gracious when you stumble, eager to lift you when you fall. My plans for you, though mysterious, are always anchored in goodness. Sometimes you look at your circumstances and feel overlooked, as though blessing has passed you by. But I tell you, what I see is different. I behold seeds of faith being sown in the dark, roots of character stretching deep in the hidden places. You may not see what I am nurturing, but I see the harvest to come. I am pleased with every small step you take in trust. If you have lingered in regret, unable to release old wounds or mistakes, bring them into my light. There is nothing you can confess that would cause me to turn away. In fact, your honesty is the gateway to healing. My forgiveness is not doled out stingily, it is lavish, flowing down as freely as rain on thirsty ground. Each day is a fresh canvas with me. The mercies I pour upon you are new with every dawn, not conditioned on your perfection, but springing forth from my unwavering love. You are invited to begin again as often as needed, to come back to me without fear. In the fabric of your day, see my fingerprints woven quietly through acts of kindness, unexpected encouragement, strength to continue when you thought you had none left. I am attentive to the details. Not a single tear escapes my notice. Not a single laughter goes unheard. The dreams I have placed within you are not accidents. Those holy longings, the hunger for beauty, the urge to repair what is broken, these are gifts from my spirit, invitations to partner with me in bringing light into the world. You may wonder whether your efforts matter, whether small acts of faithfulness make any difference. I assure you, nothing done in love is ever wasted. Like ripples across water, your faithfulness spreads wider than you can see, touching lives and shaping futures in ways you may never know this side of eternity. When you give, serve, forgive, encourage, I am present, multiplying those seeds, growing a harvest beyond your imagination. Even when results are slow or hidden, trust that nothing escapes my loving oversight. There are times you will feel weary, pulled between responsibilities, dreams, and the challenges of being human in a broken world. In these moments, I do not rebuke you for weakness. Instead, I invite you to come and rest. Cease for a while from striving. Let me refresh your soul. I am gentle with those who acknowledge their need. My strength shows itself most beautifully in your places of dependence. Instead of judgment, I bring compassion. Instead of criticism, I offer understanding. This is the nature of my love. I do not measure you by success or failure, but by my constant delight in you as my beloved. Trust that I am enough when you feel you are not. Whenever you feel isolated or misunderstood, remember that you are never alone. My companionship is steadfast, my loyalty unwavering. Invite me into your ordinary, into the unspectacular places of your life. There, too, I am willing and eager to meet you. I delight in walking with you, speaking truth into confusion, bringing order where there is chaos, and whispering hope when despair crowds in. Every day, renew your openness to encounter my voice. You do not need spectacular revelations. Sometimes I come as a gentle nudge, a quiet prompting that calls you to kindness, a moment of stillness where peace settles over anxiety. If your anxiety feels overwhelming, remember I am not dismayed by your struggles. Invite me into your fears, and I will bring calm. If your heart feels hard or closed, do not despair. My spirit gently softens what life has hardened, making possible the growth of hope, joy, and resilience. Always I am present in your becoming, shaping you through joy and sorrow alike. What matters to me is your heart's willingness, your permission for me to work in you, slow though the process may seem. I am forever committed to your restoration, to making you whole. There is no moment I grow weary of loving you. Every prayer, however brief, touches me. Every act of faith, however faltering, stirs my delight. Each day is an opportunity to breathe in my love afresh, to walk forward in trust, knowing I go before you and behind you. Something deep stirs within you, a longing that words only begin to touch. As your heart quietly aches for more, know this yearning is not a flaw, but a spark I have placed within you. It is my signature inscribed on your being, evidence that you are made for fulfillment that the world cannot provide. I see how many things try to claim your attention, promising satisfaction, striving to fill the hollow spaces. Yet only what comes from me can quiet the restlessness and still your storm. Every promise I have made to you carries the power to reshape your life. The assurances I give are not empty words, but living realities, waiting for your trust to open the door. In moments when doubts swirl like wind, pressing questions upon your mind, I remain steady and close. I do not shy away from your fears or frustrations. Bring them to me boldly, for I welcome your honest heart over practiced prayers and polished words. Pour out the feelings you hide from others, for I am not surprised or shaken by them. I call you brave not because you have never faltered, but because you have chosen to rise repeatedly when life tries to keep you down. This courage flows not from your strength alone, but from mine working within you, undergirding every shaky step and frightened hope. I am the shepherd who carries the lamb when the path becomes too steep, who binds every wound and seeks out the one who wanders. When you feel as though all around you is unfamiliar terrain, barefoot and uncertain, I guide you with gentle persistence, never rushing, always attuned to where you are right now. Know that I delight in your progress, rejoicing in every small victory, knowing the courage it takes to move forward even when the way is unclear. Sometimes hope flickers faintly, like a candle's fragile flame in a drafty room. You may guard it instinctively, fearing it will snuff out if life's winds press too hard. But I tend your hope with care, breathing new life with my spirit. When you dare to hope, you are partnering with me. inviting possibility where fear would sow resignation. Together we nurture dreams the world may dismiss, holding close the promise that what is hidden in faith now will one day bloom boldly before your eyes. Do not be discouraged if the fruit you long for seems slow to appear. Every season I have ordained brings forth its own beauty, some beneath the surface, quietly strengthening the roots that anchor you. When sorrow falls like rain and you wonder if joy will ever return, remember that I am the God who collects every tear, treasuring your pain as precious. No suffering you have endured is wasted or unseen. Each trial is threaded through with purpose, stretching your soul, expanding your ability to give and receive love. I comfort you in your aching so you may, in turn, become a source of comfort to others, carrying light into darkness because you know what it is to be led through the valley. Nothing is lost, not even the moments you regret or the times you missed the mark. I redeem all things in my perfect time. Release your need for perfection and embrace the journey of becoming, where I rejoice over you with singing simply because you are mine. There are times when silence seems to stretch endlessly, and you may question whether I still speak, whether I am as close as I once felt. Silence is not my absence. In the quiet, I am inviting you to lean in, to notice the subtle echoes of my love written in the details of each day. Allow your soul to rest in what you already know, trusting that I am working even when you cannot see progress. The seed beneath the soil does not feel the sunshine directly, yet it grows in response to my faithfulness above. Wait with expectation, for my answers will break forth at precisely the right moment, never early, never late. My desires for you are wider and deeper than you have yet imagined. I long to see you step into the fullness of who I created you to be, unburdened by the failures and voices that try to define you. Let me remind you of your identity, crafted not by circumstances, not by others' opinions, but by my unshakable love. You are chosen, set apart, and deeply known. Let this truth sink beneath the surface of your mind, nourishing the places that wonder if you truly matter. When you see through my eyes, you will recognize your worth beyond what the temporary can measure. There is a gentleness to my training, a patience woven into the way I lead you forward. I do not demand that you leap when you are only ready to take one small step. Each moment of willingness, every whisper of surrender, is celebrated in my presence. When you feel weighed down by all you think you should be, let go for a moment and let me carry the burden. I am not watching for your performance, but inviting your trust. Rest in who I am for you, not merely what you do for me. Remember, it is not your strength that sustains you, but mine. Draw close to me in your weakness and see how my grace brings strength where there was only weariness before. Do not let your failures convince you that you are disqualified. Instead, let them be the soil for new growth, a testament to my mercy working through broken places. I have always used imperfect vessels to display my glory, for in your frailty, my love shines with a fierceness no flaw can diminish. Let me lift the burdens you are carrying, the silent weights you shoulder day after day. Lay them at my feet, anxiety, shame, expectations, unanswered questions. Nothing is too small or too tangled for me. I am your safe place, your refuge in the storm. Even when you cannot trace my hand, trust my heart toward you. I am for you, with you, and leading you onward to hope that does not disappoint. What you surrender is never lost, but entrusted to hands that know how to bring beauty from ashes. Every loss, every dream laid down, every wound surrendered, becomes a seed that I sow in the garden of your future. In my timing, you will see green shoots of hope rise where once there was only sorrow. Walk with me into that future, confident not because the way is easy, but because I am utterly devoted to you. Keep your heart open and your eyes lifted, for you are never as alone as you feel. There are moments when doubt presses heavily on your heart, and and I see you glance backward, wondering if your hope will prove stronger than your fear. When the past echoes loudly, attempting to dictate your future, remember that my mercies are not just for yesterday, but are poured out anew with the rising of every Sunday. You have not come this far by accident or by your own strength alone. Each step forward, even those that felt unsteady, has been guided by my unseen hand. Do not let regret or the memory of former failures chain you to a place you no longer belong. I am the one who sets captives free, not only from outward troubles, but from the silent prisons of guilt, shame, and discouragement. In my presence, you are not defined by what you could not do, or by mistakes that taunt you, but by what I am doing within you right now. Sometimes you think you must hide your questions, your anger, or your moments of weakness from me. But I invite you, my beloved, to bring even those shadows into the light of my love. I am not scandalized by your struggles, or surprised by your wandering thoughts. My embrace is large enough for your uncertainties, and wide enough for every wound you carry. Entrust them all to me, for I am gentle and approachable, eager to heal the parts of you that feel too tender to even whisper aloud. Bring me your private fears and grief. I will not turn away. In fact, you will discover me most deeply in the places you least expect, when you surrender your pretense and let me draw near to the true texture of your soul. The world may tell you that value is measured by achievement, notoriety, or accumulation, but my kingdom operates by a different economy. What I desire is your openness, your honesty, a heart that says yes to me, even in its trembling. My power is not diminished by your smallness, nor is my love endangered by your need. Your limitations are the canvas for my glory, and in your reliance on me, you will see wonders that surpass all your striving. Often my greatest miracles unfold quietly, beneath the surface, transforming you from the inside out. You may sense only the smallest shift within, a little more peace, a gentle courage rising, but those are the seeds of larger harvests to come. In daily life, you might overlook the sacredness of the ordinary, reserving some spaces as holy and others as mundane. Yet I walk with you in every moment, whispering reminders of my delight, whether you stand in a place of worship or fold laundry in silence. Do not underestimate the impact of your smallest acts of kindness, the silent prayers you offer for those you love, the patience you show when weary. These become fragrant offerings in my sight. What you do in secret, with a heart turned toward me, resonates in eternity. I see every gesture, every sacrifice, and I smile on you even when no one else notices the cost. When anxiety storms your thoughts, and you imagine worst-case scenarios unspooling like shadowy tales, remember that I am already in your future, preparing good things for you. I know every outcome and hold each one within the vastness of my wisdom. You were never meant to carry the weight of tomorrow alone. Let go of the pride that says you must figure it all out. Receive the gift of my presence in your present. I am the God who goes before you and stands steadfast beside you. Nothing catches me off guard, and you honor me most not by worry, but by resting in the assurance of my unfailing care. There will be times when your best efforts fall short, or when the fruit you long for seems slow to appear. Do not grow weary in doing good, or allow disappointment to root itself deeply in your soul. Trust the slow work of my hands. Seeds buried in darkness push upward before they ever break the surface. Much of my transforming work happens in season where visibility is low, and it is your perseverance in those in-between spaces that shapes your character for even greater things. Lean into patience, not as resignation, but as an active trust in my timing. What I begin, I am faithful to complete, and I will not abandon a single purpose I have for your life. My child, I know the journey can be lonely at times. You may feel misunderstood, or wonder if your prayers vanish unheard in into empty air. Let me assure you, every sigh and every longing is precious to me. My heart toward you does not waver with your circumstances or depend on your mood. It is steadfast, consistent, and deeper than all your questions. I am the constant friend by your side, closer than your next breath. Even in spaces where you feel forgotten by others or overlooked by the world, I see you fully, and I am actively working for your good. Let your hope not depend solely on the evidence of things seen, for often the reality I am shaping for you cannot yet be measured or perceived with human eyes. There is a foundation beneath you which cannot be shaken, because I myself am your foundation. Rest in the security that comes from knowing you belong to me, and that nothing, no force, no mistake, no circumstance can break the bond of my love for you. Even suffering is not wasted in my hands. I use all things, weaving them into a story of redemption, renewal, and surprising joy. Do not despise the day of small beginnings. Celebrate the victories that seem insignificant through the world's lens. For in my kingdom, mustard seeds grow into sheltering trees, and water turned to wine brings unexpected delight. Trust me with your everyday yes. The choices you make when no one else is watching carry significance in my light. You may not see how each simple obedience is interlocked into the broader tapestry, but I promise you, nothing given to me is ever lost. Even the tears you shed in secret are gathered up and transformed, watering hope in ways you cannot yet imagine. Let your heart be open to wonder, for I am still doing new things in your midst. Pay attention to the subtle movements of my spirit stirring within you, the conviction that softens, the spark of creativity, the longing to begin again. These are gentle nudges prompting you to trust, to rise, to participate in what I am unfolding. Do not dismiss those inner invitations because they appear small or ordinary. I often make my entrance quietly, in humble places, and through unlikely means. Your listening heart is the doorway through which I bring my purposes to life. As you reflect on your journey, see that every valley invited deeper reliance on me, and every mountaintop showed a glimpse of my glory. Both are part of your story, and neither is accidental. Walk with assurance in this truth. You are held, led, and cherished every day, without exception. Keep coming back to me, letting my love write new chapters over every page that once brought you pain. There is always more ahead, more healing, more hope, more purpose when you remain close to the source of all life. You have walked faithfully through many valleys, and some have seemed unending. Still, I have counted every tear, gathered each one as precious, and used them as seeds of new life. You do not walk unknown or forgotten. Even when you sense silence or darkness, I am never absent. My gaze is constant, my care unbroken. There are places in your soul that only I understand, places where burdens are carried in silence, and fears are whispered in the deep night. To these hidden wounds, I bring healing that goes beyond words, moves beyond mere comfort, and imparts strength born of my own heart. Let me remind you, your limitations are not obstacles to me. Where you see only barriers, I see the birthplace of miracles. There is nothing ordinary about your story when carried by my love. Do not compare your journey to the path of another, for I am crafting in you an expression of my character that the world desperately needs to witness. You are not called to imitation, but to authenticity, to show my hope uniquely through your scars and triumphs alike. If despair whispers that all effort is wasted, that your faith does not matter, let me counter that lie with a truth as enduring as the mountains. Every act of goodness, every quiet prayer, every refusal to surrender to cynicism builds my kingdom one unseen stone at a time. My work in you is steady, patient, and unstoppable. Never have I released my hold on your future, not for a moment. I am intimately present in the unfolding of each day, not just the dramatic moments of victory, but in the ordinary faithfulness that forms the foundation of true greatness. Celebrate not just the visible transformations, but the subtle shifts: a softer heart, a word unsaid in anger, an act of forgiveness offered in private. These small seeds become forests of grace and legacy in my timing. The enemy would have you believe that guilt and failure have the last word, but my mercy always triumphs. When regret rises up, let it be a signal to run to me, not away, for I specialize not only in restoration but in new creation. You are not meant to live tethered to past mistakes or future anxieties. Each sunrise brings an invitation to begin afresh, to lay heavy burdens down and let your soul breathe again. Remember that perfection is not required, just honesty with me. Do not fear your weakness, for it is through your surrendered need that my power finds its perfect expression. I have chosen you, knowing every chapter of your life, and my choice stands unshaken. As you look at the brokenness around you, resist the urge to become numb. You are my light bearer, even when your light flickers or feels small. When compassion moves you to tears, know that your heart beats in rhythm with mine. Blessing flows not just through grand gestures, but through small, persistent acts of kindness. I see them all. No generosity is lost on me. If weariness threatens to claim your hope, let me be your rest. Draw near, for in my presence is shelter, strength, and the reminder that you are never alone in your striving. You are part of a larger story, woven together with countless others seeking my love, together creating a chorus of hope that cannot be silenced. When your prayers seem unanswered, or my timing feels incomprehensible, trust that I am working at a depth you cannot yet see. What feels like delay is often the preparation of your heart to receive greater joy and understanding. Waiting shapes your patience, hones your gratitude, teaches you to lean into me rather than what you can control. I have not forgotten a single request, nor have I ignored your longing. My answers always arrive wrapped in wisdom, even when they do not match your expectations. Lean into this mystery, for deeper faith grows in the soil of trust. I am writing your story with hands skilled in redemption, never hasty but always intentional. Let gratitude become your companion, transforming the ordinary details of your day into moments of worship. Whether in quiet routines or loud celebration, bring me your thanks. There is power in recognizing that every good thing is anchored in my generosity. As you practice gratitude, fear loses its grip and joy finds space to bloom. You will discover that contentment does not depend on circumstances, but on the certainty of being deeply loved and provided for. Open your heart to receive every gift I send, and do not overlook the sweet mercies disguised in hardship, for within them I tuck hidden treasures meant just for you. If conflict or misunderstanding strains your relationships, let my love steer your responses. Seek reconciliation, offer grace, and refuse bitterness, its roots. Every time you choose to forgive, you declare that my cross is enough, that redemption is real not just for you but for all. Even when wounds are deep, I invite you to trust me with justice and restoration. My ways bring healing the world cannot fathom. Where you cannot change another's heart, pray instead for blessing and peace. I am the God who changes the impossible, who can breathe life into what once seemed irreparably lost. Stand firm in hope, even when the world shakes. Trials and storms will come, but they cannot separate you from my love. Anchor yourself in this promise, and let it embolden your spirit. Darkness doesn't last forever. Morning inexorably arrives, often more beautiful for the night that came before. My plans for you are laced with hope, born of wisdom that spans eternity. Let go of striving to orchestrate every outcome. Rest instead in me, the one who has already secured for you a future brighter than any fear could cloud. I am delighted every time you choose to trust, when you put faith above doubt, hope above despair, love above resentment. These choices, though sometimes hidden, build a foundation stronger than stone. My spirit within you is not timid or weak. It empowers you to live with purpose, to rise after every setback, and to shine even when shadows threaten. You are my beloved, and nothing can diminish the worth I see in you. Come to me with your honest joys and your rawest ache. I will meet you, hold you, and carry you forward with a hope more steadfast than sunrise. Hear my voice one more time, with every word shaped for your heart. I have not ceased watching over you, not today, not yesterday, not ever. The story we share continues, alive and full of promise in every moment that you choose me. You have walked through shadows and sunlight, questioned your path, and wondered if I truly see you. You are not hidden from me. Even now your unspoken aches and silent victories rise before me as precious incense. You were meant for belonging, not just to a cause or community, but intimately to me. What I desire most is not perfection, but nearness, not grand gestures, but surrendered, honest moments. You may feel small at times, overwhelmed by storms swirling within and around you. Yet to me, you are of immeasurable worth. When brittle confidence sputters out, remember, I have faith enough for both of us. Your weaknesses do not repel me. Rather, they draw me closer, for I delight to strengthen you where you falter, to hold you steady where your knees tremble. I invite you to see your life anew, not by the accumulation of successes or stumbles, but by each instance you reach for me. Let my love define you. Let it tenderly dismantle the old stories you've carried, those whispered lies that say you are too far gone, too wounded to be used, too flawed to be loved. With me, hope is always more than a theory. It is the anchor that steadies you and the wind that moves you forward. I am the one knitting patience into your waiting, wisdom into your confusion, and beauty into every place you once thought barren. My power is made perfect not in the absence of struggle, but within the very places you imagine are beyond repair. Open your life to my restoring touch. Set down the burdens you were never meant to shoulder. Let me lift the weight that presses on your chest. If you feel lost, I am already searching for you, calling you out of hiding with a voice that can never tire. Even when you misunderstand my ways or question my silence, I am teaching you to listen beneath the noise, to recognize my presence disguised in the ordinary. My guidance is not always a shout. Sometimes it is a whisper in the spaces between your thoughts, a gentle urging in the middle of your routine. Each day is thick with my presence, and I am teaching you to notice through the kindness of a stranger, the relentless beauty tucked into creation, and the deep assurance that nothing will ever separate you from my love. Yield your doubts before me, bringing each anxious thought as a gift of vulnerability I cherish. You do not disappoint me with your questions. Instead, you honor me by searching, wrestling, and returning. My greatest desire is your whole heart, messy, joyful, weary, exuberant. I do not tire of you. Remember, your life's meaning is not measured by what others perceive, nor by standards imposed by a hurried, fickle world. Instead, your worth is forever sealed by my delight in you, by the sacrifice given out of unstoppable love. Trust that even now I am building a future with you, one marked by deep joy and holy purpose, unshaken by temporary disappointment. There is always more for you, more peace, more wisdom, more healing, more freedom. Every day you choose to look toward me, you step further into the fullness I have prepared. Surrender again, not because of fear, but because of trust. Trust that my plans for you have always been for good, even when they demand the brave act of letting go. The time is now to risk believing that I truly mean what I say. I am not holding you at arm's length, waiting for you to become someone else. My invitation is for you. Right as you are as you read these words, as you take your next uncertain step, receive what I have freely given, my son, my spirit, my never-failing affection. Lay aside the tapestries of guilt and shame. They were never meant for you to wear. I clothe you instead with renewed mercy every morning, with hope that rises unfailingly with every dawn. Your prayers are heard, your tears noticed, your laughter celebrated. I am orchestrating unseen triumphs in your life even now, gently guiding you through every detour and delay. Lean into my faithfulness, for it does not flicker with your moods or waver with your circumstances. You can risk hope, because I will not betray your trust. Rest more deeply in my presence, not only in the moments set aside, but in every breath, every act of unnoticed obedience. I walk with you in crowds and in solitude, in triumph and in failure, never ceasing to carry what you cannot. I long for you to experience the adventure of a surrendered life, the thrill of seeing obstacles fall, chains break, and ordinary days transformed into sacred ground. My power in you is not limited by appearances. I work wonders through humble beginnings, faithful steps, and persevering hearts. Continue seeking me beyond formulas and expectations, letting our relationship become real, vibrant, transformative. I want to teach you the rhythms of grace so deep that even in your hardest moments, you find yourself held by unshakable peace. Let go of old patterns that keep you distant from me or from others. Forgive as I have forgiven you. Receive as I freely give. Do not let fear script your story, for perfect love casts out all fear. I am rewriting your ending with hope that will not disappoint. Trust me, lean in, breathe deeper, your future is safe with me. You are a vital part of my unfolding work in the world. What you bring, no matter how small it feels, is irreplaceable when surrendered into my hands. I multiply what you offer, weaving redemption from even your weakness. Walk with me, partner with me, and let your life speak of my goodness to all who watch your journey. Rise each morning with expectancy. I am always doing a new thing in you and through you. Be courageous, keep your heart tender, and know that my presence is your ever-present help. Nothing can separate you from my love. My promises are as sure as the sunrise. When you falter, fall into my grace. When you soar, give me your gratitude. I am your everlasting Father, unchanging, unwavering, and I delight in you. Continue forward in hope, for I am making all things new, and this includes you, every corner, every memory, every longing. Receive the fullness of my blessing, and go in peace, for you are forever mine. My beloved, I see your searching, your hunger for something real, profound, and good. Let me assure you, you are not lost in the vastness of the world or overlooked among millions. I have chosen this exact moment to speak directly into your life with a word crafted for you alone. Within these lines, expect a touch tailored to the ache and the desire you carry. There is something deep and hidden that your heart craves, a peace, a clarity, a strength only I can give. Open your spirit, for what you are about to receive holds the power to transform the hidden corners where you have felt alone and misunderstood. You risk missing the fullness of what I have purposed for you by turning away now. Far too much is at stake to drift from this embrace. What I offer is unlike anything you have known, for these words are my personal, reaching my heart, unveiled for you, not filtered by ritual or tradition, but alive, immediate, and intimate. Come, let us walk this path together. Lay down for a moment the burdens you wrestle with, the regrets that call from yesterday, the fears that peer at you from tomorrow. I have watched your striving. I have counted every tear and rejoiced at every secret smile. There is no place in your journey where my eyes have failed to follow you, no depth of disappointment or height of hope that escapes my notice. Many times you have wondered if my presence is real, if my voice can truly find you, if I care for the smallest details of your life. Listen closely. The tenderness you seek, the wisdom you crave, the relentless love you sometimes doubt, these are not mere concepts, but treasures I draw close to you now. While the world may offer quick fixes and hollow reassurances, I extend to you the solid presence of the one who shaped you, knows you, and never wearies of holding you up. Risk believing that your ache and your longing are precious invitations to encounter me. Let the noise of confusion fade for a moment. As I quietly speak, breathe deeply. Feel my gentle invitation wrap around your soul. I am not distant, nor am I demanding perfection. All that I ask is that you bring your true self into this, even with your unrest, even with your questions. The ordinary struggles and hopes you carry are sacred in my sight. I am able to take every fragment and weave a tapestry more beautiful than you imagine. In the times when you have felt unseen, unheard, dismissed by others, or even by yourself, know that I have treasured every detail about you. Your uniqueness delights me. The quirks you try to hide, the dreams you barely dare to voice, I see them. Nothing is wasted in my presence. Nothing slips through my grasp without care. Even as you continue, my arms encircle you with a compassion that will not let you go. Sometimes you have wondered why peace is so elusive, why rest seems far out of reach. You may have searched for comfort in many places, only to return empty. Know this: true rest is found not in the removal of difficulties, but in knowing you are entirely held and understood by me. I do more than merely observe your life. I stand beside you, drinking in your joys, steadying you in hardship, fiercely protecting the hope I seeded in your soul. Let yourself lean into the awareness that I am not a distant idea, but the living one who walks with you in the invisible places, the one who fills silence with meaning and emptiness with promise. Every step you take is sacred to me. You may be tempted to measure your worth by what you accomplish, how others perceive you, or the mistakes you want to forget. Yet my gaze never wavers. My pleasure in you is not bargaining for your efforts or your perfection. It is rooted in my eternal love, a love that cannot be lessened by your failures, nor increased by your successes. When shame creeps in, whispering that you are not enough, let my assurance settle deep within. You are chosen, beloved, and cherished right where you stand. I planted you in this season for reasons you may not yet see. Trust that the soil of your current circumstance, even when rocky, holds purpose and potential. I welcome your honesty. I treasure your vulnerability. Nothing you confess can alter my affection or surprise me. Even in the times you feel weak or overcome by uncertainty, I am not disappointed in you. I am not keeping a tally of your errors. Rather, I rejoice in every movement of your heart toward me. When you stumble, I am quick to lift you, not with condemnation, but with tenderness. Come, rest from the relentless comparison and pressure. Let your heart return home to the truth. My truth, that you are already enough because I am enough within you. I do not measure you as the world does. My ways are not your ways. I am drawing you into a relationship, not a transaction. With me, you are not earning, you are receiving. Guilt and shame may have rooted themselves in your story, but I offer you freedom, a new way to live without fear or striving. Acknowledge the heaviness that tries to cloak your spirit at times. You may fear that your mistakes disqualify you, or that your inadequacy is a barrier I cannot cross. These are lies that I long to uproot gently from your heart. You have nothing to prove. Your place in my love is not conditional. I am not searching for accomplishments, but for relationship. When you open your heart to me, even trembling, even in tatters, you bring me joy. Allow my kindness to quiet the accusing voices. My forgiveness is boundless. My mercy renews each morning, and my plans for you overflow with hope. Do not rehearse past failures. Instead, surrender them and see how I transform ashes to beauty. I know how weary you sometimes feel, how easily discouragement finds its way to you. Let me remind you that hope is not a fragile wish. In my presence, hope is strong, resilient, anchored by promises I keep. Nothing in your life is too far broken for my hands to restore. No wound is too deep for my healing. The stories you label as ruined are still being written under my pen. When you open your heart to me in trust, I breathe new life into places you thought were beyond repair. Begin to see yourself as I see you, not defined by pain, but by possibility. There is much I wish to show you about yourself and about me. Your journey is unique, with a purpose carefully knit through joy and trial alike. Even in moments of confusion, I am guiding you, sometimes through detours that hide the gifts waiting for you on the other side. Trust that I am cultivating something good, even now as you wait, wonder, or wander. Let go of what you cannot control. I am the faithful shepherd, leading you beside still waters, restoring your soul. When fear rises, let it become a doorway to greater trust, for I am with you always. Let us continue further, hand in hand, as you open more deeply to my sustaining presence. Draw near, not out of obligation, but out of hunger for what is real. The world competes for your attention, offering distractions and shallow comforts. Yet I offer something lasting, a wellspring within that does not run dry. Let my words create space in your heart for the peace you urgently need. Allow the stillness to reveal to you my nearness, my strong companionship. Even when you feel isolated or misunderstood, recall that I walk each step beside you, speaking affirmation and possibility over your life. You are never truly alone, for my spirit abides within you, offering wisdom, courage, and continual comfort. Do not underestimate what I can do through you. Even small seeds of faith planted today can bear extraordinary fruit in time. The gifts within you are not accidental, but intentional creations of love. You were woven with purpose and designed for relationship with me. I take joy in your uniqueness. Your voice matters. Your perspective is valuable. When self-doubt whispers, let my truth be louder. I delight in you not for what you achieve, but for who you are. The smallest steps you take in faith and love ripple farther than you can imagine. Remain open to what I am planting, for in due time, harvest will come. As you journey onward, I invite you to receive my acceptance at every level of your being. The world may judge from the outside, but I look to the heart. Your hidden struggles, your silent prayers, your daily acts of kindness, these are precious to me. I see the times you choose grace when anger tempts, hope when despair presses in, love when resentment stirs. Each choice, however small or unseen, builds your character and echoes my character within you. When fatigue threatens to overwhelm, bring your worries to me. I am your stronghold, the place where your soul is safe and secure. With me, you can find the strength to persevere and the freedom to rest. Sometimes you feel your prayers are unanswered or that I am silent. Remember, my silence is never absence. I am working even in the waiting, even in the unanswered places. Trust that my timing is perfect. I know what is good and lasting for you. Some doors close because greater ones are opening. Where you feel delay, know I am preparing you and protecting what matters most. Your life is not static or inconsequential. Each day is an unfolding chapter in a greater story I am writing. Surrender the timeline, and you will find peace in my process. Through the seasons of change and uncertainty, I am your constant presence. I do not falter when storms arise, nor am I moved by shifting circumstances. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. My promises hold steady. Let your faith anchor itself in who I am, unchanging, unwavering, unfailing. Even when you cannot see the full picture, Know that my intentions for you are always good. Where others may disappoint, I remain true. Let my faithfulness become the foundation of your confidence. As you continue to dwell in my presence, offer up even your disappointments and sorrows. I am well acquainted with grief and loss, and I gather every tear as precious. Pour out your heart honestly to me. There is no shame in lament. Your sorrow is safe in my hands. I will comfort you. I will restore you. I will walk with you through every shadowed valley. In me, hope never dies, no matter how dark the night. Your resilience grows as you trust, not in your own strength, but in mine. In every area where you feel weak or lacking, invite my power to be made perfect. I do not ask you to carry burdens alone or rely on your own resources. Instead, lean into my grace, which supplies all you need. My strength is yours. My joy becomes your sustenance. You are not defined by your limitations, but by my limitless possibility at work in you. Where you falter, I uphold. Where you are empty, I fill. I am your provider, healer, and ever-present help. Let my abundance replace your scarcity thinking. Let your heart be open to fresh encounters with me each day. Do not limit me to past experiences or old understandings. I am always doing something new, inviting you into deeper relationship and greater freedom. Expect surprises of grace, opportunities for growth, and outpourings of love. Remain attentive, for I delight in revealing myself to those who seek with childlike wonder. You will discover treasures in the ordinary signs of my care woven through your everyday life. I am present in the quiet, present in the chaos, present in the waiting, present in the breakthrough. My invitation to you stands. Draw near, rest secure in my love. Find your identity and purpose in what I declare over you. Let the world's voices quiet in comparison to mine. No defeat, no disappointment, no offense can override the redemption I am working out for you. Take courage. Lift your gaze above your circumstances. I am doing more than you see, behind the scenes and within your heart. Trust the unfolding process, and know that I am with you, loving you, and leading you every moment. You find yourself drawn to my voice, perhaps not understanding why you feel this stirring deep within. But I know every secret longing you carry, and see every burden that weighs upon your heart. Your life has not gone unnoticed before me. Even in moments when you doubted your worth or questioned my nearness, I was attentive to your every sigh. You are not simply a face in the crowd to me. You are cherished beyond what you can imagine, handcrafted with care and intention, and your journey is precious in my sight. I invite you to come closer, to step beyond the familiar patterns of fear and restlessness that have tried to dictate your days. Do you sense the gentle knocking within? That is my spirit prompting you to come aside, away from distractions, and let me speak directly to your soul. You will come to realize that my love is not limited by your doubts, nor is my mercy held back because of your failures. I do not draw near to you because of your achievements, but because you are mine. Let these words be the shelter for your trembling heart, and the answer to questions you may keep hidden from everyone else. So many times you have walked through shadows, wondering if the light would ever return. In those spaces, I have been whispering hope sometimes in ways you did not recognize. Perhaps you have looked for me in thunder and spectacle, and did not realize that I often speak in the stillness. My voice is a steady anchor, and I am never out of reach. You are invited to bring the tangle of your thoughts, the ache of your regrets, and lay them before me. There is room here for every disappointment, every doubt, every longing you dare not voice. I am gentle with your wounds, but I will not leave you unchanged. My compassion is not passive, it is active, working to heal and restore from the inside out. There is a purpose woven through your story, Even in places that feel broken or senseless, I do not waste pain, nor do I ignore injustice. You were made for a fullness of life beyond mere survival. The journey ahead will not always be easy, but I promise my presence in every step. In your uncertainty, you may cling to control, but I invite you to surrender instead to my wisdom, which surpasses your own understanding. My guidance is not meant to confine you, but to set your feet upon secure paths. If only you knew how intensely I delight in your growth, how I watch over you as a gardener tending a precious seedling, you would never again fear being overlooked. When you stumble, and you will at times, I am ready to lift you up with grace, not with condemnation. Each morning brings you a new measure of my faithfulness, whether your eyes notice it or not. Here in the quiet of this moment, I ask you to let go of the heavy expectations you place upon yourself. I delight in your willingness to try, to seek, to hope, more than in any flawless performance you think I require. My heart overflows with a compassion that reaches into every hidden place, illuminating shadows without shame. I am teaching you to be gentle with yourself, because my own love for you is gentle and steadfast. The world may urge you to prove yourself, to keep striving and hustling for acceptance, but I have already called you beloved. Your worth is not up for debate. It is rooted in my declaration over your life. You may believe there are places in your story where I am silent, but even my silences are invitations, spaces where I am drawing you deeper, teaching you to trust my character when you cannot see my hand. I am not afraid of your doubts or your questions. I receive them as part of your honest seeking, and I meet you there, not with judgment, but with gentle assurance. There is no question you could ask that would drive me away. Bring your uncertainties. Let them become the doorway to a more resilient faith. I am patient, waiting out your storms, never moving an inch from your side. Take courage, because the journey of transformation is a gift and not a punishment. I am leading you from fear into freedom, from exhaustion into rest, from isolation into belonging. Each day is a page in our story together, and I rejoice over every small step you take toward me, however feeble it may seem to you. Bring me your failures and your unfinished stories. I have a way of weaving beauty out of the tangled threads. Nothing is wasted in my hands, not a tear, not a hope deferred, not even your mistakes. I create mosaics of mercy from the fragments others would discard. Let your heart become sensitive to my nearness, for I am always more present than you think. In the ordinary rhythms of your days, I am whispering reminders that you are not alone. Even when confusion clouds your vision, I hold the map for your journey. When the road ahead feels uncertain or the past threatens to steal your hope, I am your constant companion, the one who walks ahead, beside, and behind you. I do not tire of leading. I do not grow weary of hearing your heart. Listen, for there is more I want to give you than what you have yet imagined. Experience my love as more than an idea, but as a living truth that invades the corners of your spirit, longing for peace. I am preparing you to trust again, to believe that goodness can still spring up in unexpected places. My child, I am the steady hand that calms the wind and brings peace to troubled waters. Fix your gaze not on the chaos, but on my unchanging faithfulness. My presence is the peace that surpasses understanding. Let every anxious thought melt in the warmth of my assurance. I already know your needs before you voice them, and I am committed to providing in ways that are best for you, even if they come differently than you expect. Trust is a journey, not a single leap. Allow me to walk with you in your hesitations. There is enough grace for every question, every detour, every weary sigh. My invitation is not for the perfect, but for the open, the ones willing to believe, even in weakness, that my love is greater than their shortcomings. Breathe deeply now. Know that as you read these words, you are being pursued by a love you cannot outrun or outgrow. My desire is not merely to comfort you in your pain, but to empower you for all that lies ahead. The world may offer counterfeits, fleeting promises of worth or peace, but only I can satisfy the longing at your core. You were made for union with me, and nothing less will ever bring lasting contentment. Let go of the comparisons and judgments that have clouded your view of yourself and of me. My gaze is full of tenderness. Where others see only flaws, I see potential and promise. Even in your struggles, I see the goodness I planted within you, a reflection of my image, waiting to shine. Do not let old voices of shame drown out the melody of hope I am singing over your life. You do not need to perform for me. You need only to be open and honest. I am your shelter, your anchor, your dearest friend. I see how deeply you search for meaning in the ordinary moments, how you question whether your days hold purpose beyond what you can see and touch. Let me assure you, even as you walk through the tasks and routines that appear mundane, my presence surrounds you with unseen value. The very breath you draw, the words you speak in kindness, the silent prayers whispered in uncertainty, every small act glows with significance in my eyes, because I measure greatness not by displays of power, but by the consistency of a loving, steadfast heart. When you wonder if anyone notices the efforts you make, when discouragement whispers that your contribution is invisible and unimportant, lean in and listen for my gentle affirmation. Your life is a tapestry woven with threads of hope, patient endurance, and tiny mercies that ripple far beyond what you realize. Do not overlook the strength that has carried you through moments of quiet struggle. The world seldom praises resilience found in secret battles, but I see the courage it takes to get up each day, to choose love over bitterness, to offer forgiveness where hurt still lingers, and to seek me when answers seem elusive. You are growing in ways the world cannot measure, each surrender an act of trust, forming deep roots of faith that anchor you even when storms swirl around you. My heart is drawn not to outward perfection, but to honest, humble willingness. Your willingness to return to me, to ask for strength, to admit weakness, and to keep moving forward even when the path seems unclear. Nothing you place in my hands is wasted. There are moments you feel as if your prayers vanish into silence, or that your hopes fade without harvest. But I am at work beneath the surface, tending to seeds you have planted, watering them with grace and light unknown to you. Patience is not a sign of divine absence, but an invitation to trust that I am shaping outcomes beyond your vision. While you wait, know that I also wait with you, cherishing your openness and cherishing the days where faith feels like a small flickering flame rather than a roaring fire. It is not the size of your faith that moves mountains, but your willingness to bring it to me exactly as it is. When your heart aches for healing, for restoration, for dreams long delayed, bring your honest hurt to me. My compassion is not distant or cold, but deeply acquainted with every ache you carry. I am moved by your tears. Each one is precious, held in the palm of my caring hand, and in time, where brokenness has shouted loss, I will sow new beginnings. I do not promise to erase every trace of pain, but I do promise to transform suffering so that it becomes fertile ground for deeper joy, richer peace, and wisdom that cannot be stolen by sorrow. There is nothing you must hide from me. No fear, no regret, no question too heavy for my listening heart. Let me show you how I see you, not as someone defined by limitations or failures, but as my beloved creation, formed with intention, chosen in love, and destined for a goodness yet to be revealed. In the mirror of my gaze, all shame loses power, for I see beyond mistakes to the beauty blooming in forgiveness. Your story is safe with me. The chapters you wished were different, the pages crumpled and stained, are held and redeemed as part of a narrative I am still lovingly writing. Even when you struggle to embrace your worth, I celebrate you as treasured, unique, and irreplaceable. The longing you feel for connection, for belonging, is a reflection of my own longing to be close to you. I crafted your soul with the need and capacity to love and be loved, because I intended you to walk through life in relationship with me and with others. Every longing for intimacy, for authentic friendship, is my whisper that you were created for community. Do not dismiss the ache as weakness. Instead, let it draw you to seek me in stillness, to invite me into your loneliness, and to trust that in the spaces others cannot fill, I am already present, closer than the very air you breathe. There will be times when the path ahead is shadowed by uncertainty, when you reach for answers and receive only silence or mystery. In those moments, remember, I walk beside you, not as a distant observer, but as your loving guide. I give you enough light for the next step, and my wisdom comes gently, sometimes as a quiet prompting rather than a thunderous directive. If you feel lost, do not fear. My guidance is steadfast, my wisdom always within your reach. If you pause to listen with a receptive heart, life may not unfold as you expected, but my plans for you are crafted with love and grounded in goodness. Let go of the pressures to always carry burdens alone. I invite you to release the weight you were never meant to bear. There is no shame in asking for help, in admitting you need comfort, rest, or support. When you feel weak, you are not failing. You are simply human, and I celebrate the honesty of your need. My strength is made perfect in such moments, and it is in surrender that you find the relief your spirit longs for. Allow yourself to exhale into my care, confident that I am both strong enough to uphold you and tender enough to soothe you. As you journey through the unknowns, waiting, hoping, mourning, and rejoicing, trust that you are not alone. My silence does not equal distance, nor does my patience mean indifference. I am as near to you in the quiet as I am in the breakthroughs. Every breath of prayer, every longing, wordless sigh, every moment you choose love over fear, these draw me to you and open your soul to the transforming grace I long to pour into every empty place. I see every detail of your life with compassionate understanding. You are never out of my view, never forsaken or forgotten. Listen for my reassurance in the simple rhythms of your days, in the warmth of sunlight, the laughter that bubbles unexpectedly, the comfort found in safe relationships, and even in the sacred hush of solitude. I am teaching you to notice my presence in the here and now, training your heart to recognize the evidence of my care in all circumstances. Each experience, whether joyful or challenging, is a thread in the fabric I am weaving for your good. There is no striving that can earn my love. You already possess it in fullness. Let go of the need to prove your worth to me. Instead, let your efforts spring from the assurance that you are cherished just as you are. Your value does not fluctuate with success or stumble. You remain, my beloved, forever held, forever wanted. In me, your identity is not fragile but firmly anchored in unshakable acceptance. I will never leave you. I will always delight in you. In the quiet places of your heart where uncertainties dwell, I am there, closer than your very breath, attentive to the murmurs you hardly dare to utter. You have wondered if you can truly lay every burden before me, if your failures and secret shame disqualify you from the fullness of my embrace. Let those doubts dissolve like dew in the morning Sunday. I have seen every stumble, every anxious turn of thought, and still, my heart moves toward you with unrelenting compassion. Your wounds, even those you try to hide from your own reflection, are known to me, and I invite you to bring them into the light of my loving gaze. In that light, truth is never cold nor harsh. With me, you will find the courage to name your struggles and to hand them over, one by one, as a child gives broken pieces to a loving parent for repair. Do not fear the exposure, for I am not like those who judge according to appearances. I see beyond outward actions into the depth of longing that leads you into my presence now. What matters to me is not a performance of perfection, but your readiness to be honest, teachable, and open to new beginnings. Each moment you return to me, regardless of what preceded it, is precious beyond measure. This is the mystery of my mercy. I delight more in your return than I ever did in your attempts to earn my favor. Your every homecoming is met with joyous celebration in the courts of heaven, echoing with the song that only grace can sing. Consider what you seek most deeply, not just fleeting relief from trouble, but the stability and belonging your soul craves. The world offers many distractions, promising safety in the next accomplishment, relationship, or possession. Yet these things, though good in their place, cannot satisfy the hunger that I designed for myself. You were made for communion, not transaction. Nothing delights me more than your willingness to simply be with me, to allow love to flow easily between us, unguarded and without striving. When anxieties press in and the pace of life threatens to drown out, my gentle whisper, pause, and remember that I am a God who waits. There is no impatience in me, no disappointment when you feel lost or overwhelmed. When you sense your heart drifting, return to me, without rehearsing apologies or promises to do better. I would rather hold you while you are broken than see you withdraw into isolation, believing you need to mend yourself first. You are safe with me. Let this safety become the foundation from which you build your days, anchoring every ambition and every small delight in the simple fact that you are loved, wanted, and never dismissed. I know your fears, both those you name aloud and those that haunt you in silence. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear that your best efforts will never be enough. These fears can grow until they loom large, convincing you that you must fight your own battles alone, that surrendering is weakness rather than wisdom. Yet my invitation remains. Lay your weapons down. There is a gentler strength in trusting me, a deeper power in admitting your need. The world says you must always prove yourself, but I tell you, it is my pleasure to provide. You do not earn my care through relentless effort. Instead, let my promises guide you through the tangled paths of your uncertainty. You may not always see or feel immediate changes, but trust that my work in you is steady and sure, accomplishing far more beneath the surface than appears at first glance. Like roots growing quietly in the dark earth, unseen but essential, my spirit cultivates hope and resilience within you, preparing a harvest of peace. There will be moments when the voices around you clamor for attention, insisting that you must be more, achieve more, bear more than you think possible. But hear me clearly, you do not have to carry every burden alone. When your strength wanes, lean into mine. I do not shame you for your limits, for I fashioned you to need connection, first with me and then with others. Reach out, allow yourself to be supported, and you will find that the weight grows lighter. No wound or weakness has the power to separate you from my love. I specialize in working through broken vessels, turning what others might discard into vessels overflowing with joy and purpose. If you feel unworthy or incapable, know that those are precisely the spaces where my grace shines brightest, where your lack is transformed into abundance by my touch. Let the rhythm of my presence become as familiar as breathing. Do not wait for perfect circumstances to draw near to me. In your everyday moments, whether mundane or momentous, look for my fingerprints, small reminders that I am guiding, shaping, and delighting in you. The joy you feel in the laughter of a friend, the peace that arrives in unexpected stillness, even the conviction that nudges you toward growth, all these are gifts from my hand. Accept them with gratitude, knowing that nothing in your life is too insignificant to catch my attention. I attend to sparrows and lilies, yet my care for you is far greater. There is no detail beyond my notice, no longing too small for my compassion. As you bring your full self to me, your hopes and flaws, your grieving and rejoicing, I offer you more than just answers. I give you my very self, a source of unending love, wisdom, and strength. This is the well from which you may draw continually, no matter the landscape of your circumstances. As you drink deeply, you will discover resources within yourself that you never knew existed: patience in the delays, courage in uncertainty, and forgiveness for yourself and others. What I give is not a fleeting escape, but a steadfast presence that enables you to endure and even flourish amid storms. Imagine the freedom that comes from surrendering anxiety's grip, from trusting that you are held and guided, even when you do not see the path ahead. When you face choices that feel overwhelming, pause to remember that the outcome is never yours to orchestrate alone. I care more for you than for the shape of your decisions, and my counsel is never out of reach. Listen for my voice in the quiet, attentive to the gentle nudges of peace and conviction that mark my leading. Even when you doubt your ability to discern, trust that I am persistent, repeating my invitations in myriad ways until your heart can hear and respond. You are invited not merely to survive, but to thrive in partnership with me. Release the pressure to compare your journey to that of others. I delight in your uniqueness, and the pace I set for you is tailored to your story. Where you see limitations, I see potential. Where you mourn what seems lost, I am weaving redemption. This is the paradox of my ways. Often you glimpse only fragments, but I am shaping a masterpiece. Rest in that assurance, knowing you are seen, known, and cherished for who you are, not just for what you achieve or overcome. As you walk through the days I give you, trust that every circumstance has a place in my plan. Even when pieces appear scattered and your heart aches for clarity, I see every longing, every forgotten corner of your soul, and I am not indifferent to your struggles or triumphs. In the stillness, when disappointment settles over your shoulders like a gentle rain, it is my voice, softly persistent, reminding you that endurance is never wasted and unseen faith grows deeper roots. Turn your gaze from what lies beyond your control and rest in knowing that I am attentive to your smallest sighs. Let me lift what is too heavy for you, for I delight to bear your burdens and to teach you the strength that is birthed only in surrender. My love is not transactional or dependent upon your successes and failures. It endures through your wandering and returns with you when you find your way home, arms always open. You have been searching for validation, measuring your worth by outcomes and the shifting standards of others. But I tell you, you are precious not because of what you achieve, but because of who I am and my relentless affection for you. Stop striving for a perfection I do not require. Instead, step into the embrace of belonging that transforms effort into joy, no matter how far you have fallen or how incomplete your progress feels. My grace reaches farther than your mistakes and gathers you up in every moment. Even in your confusion, I am present. Where you cannot see ahead, I guide by light that glimmers in the darkness sometimes. So faint, you fear you are alone. Yet, my presence is closest in those quiet shadows. When despair whispers that nothing will change, let your soul remember that with every dawn, I remake the world and restore the broken places. I am always at work, weaving together redemption, whether it is a process you can trace or a tapestry that only emerges in hindsight. Trust the hands that formed you in secret, and know that I do not abandon my work. The wilderness is not the end. It is ground prepared for new beginnings you have yet to imagine. You may question why your prayers delay or why answers seem hidden, but I ask you, will you still come to me? Will you believe that being with me is its own reward, that intimacy does not depend on what I give, but on the quiet knowing that I am for you and I am with you? Let your heart be unafraid of waiting, for in the waiting I am teaching you the dance of reliance, and surrender the rhythm of breathing in my nearness, and releasing expectations that weigh you down. I do not waste time. I use it to shape you gently, and to fill you with wisdom that cannot be learned in hurried moments. Every day I invite you to bring your true self. Do not fear your weaknesses, for I see through your walls and long for you to experience the freedom of authenticity before me. There is no wound too deep, no fear too strong that my love cannot touch and heal. When you move through your day shouldering responsibilities, let me carry what you cannot. Do not hide the vulnerable edges of your soul. Invite me into every unspoken place, for I desire to be the comforter and restorer of all that has been bruised and battered. My invitation is not merely to observe your pain from afar, but to step into it with you and redeem every fragment. When shame threatens to define your identity or regret clouds your perspective, remember you are not the sum of your past or the names that failure assigns to you. I call you beloved, chosen, redeemed. My mercy is new with every sunrise. I do not grow tired of forgiving you, nor do I tire of your need for me. Lift your head and let go of rehearsed accusations that replay in your mind, for I choose to remember your sins no more. Walk with me into the wide open fields of possibility that reconciliation brings freedom not only from consequences, but release into hope and fresh beginnings. You are never invisible to me. Your laughter, your tears, the doubts you hesitate to voice, they are precious to me. I designed you with intention, placed your passions in your heart, and I celebrate the uniqueness of your journey. While others may overlook or misunderstand, I see with clarity and cherish every detail. Even when you try to blend in or withdraw out of self-protection, my gaze remains steadfast. I do not abandon the work of my hands. My faithfulness is constant, like the stars that pierce the night sky. Even when you doubt, I am still here. When forgiveness feels impossible both to give and receive, remember that my own heart is the source of true mercy. Where resentment hardens and reconciliation seems beyond reach, invite me to melt the barriers. In offering forgiveness, you receive your own soul with grace, and when you receive forgiveness, you open the door to the fullness of life I offer. Do not fear your need for repeated grace. I do not count your failures against you, but instead long for you to return and rest in my unending patience. When you fall short, come openly and quickly, for I meet every honest confession with compassion. Let me breathe new courage into dreams you thought were lost. The disappointments of the past are not disqualifications, but woven into a story much greater than you can conceive. Do not let yesterday's discouragement dictate today's possibilities. I am the author of hope, the one who calls dead things to life, and I have not finished painting the masterpiece of your days. If your heart has grown weary, rest in my ability to renew. Even when the way ahead seems clouded by uncertainty, or when you no longer know what to pray, simply be still in my presence. I understand the language of silent longing as deeply as the words you struggle to form. In every season, whether abundance or lack, seek me first. As you do, I will reorient your affections and remind you that true fulfillment is found not in fleeting pleasures or external achievement, but in union with me. When you hunger for significance, when you thirst for more, let me satisfy your soul. My peace is not elusive, it flows freely to hearts that make me their dwelling. This security is unshakable, anchored not in what you possess, but in my unwavering commitment to you. You may fear missing out or wasting your life, but know that every moment surrendered in love to me is never wasted. Even mundane tasks and daily routines can become sacred when offered to me. I see the hidden sacrifices, the quiet acts of faithfulness, and I rejoice over you. The world measures greatness by visibility, applause, and acclaim, yet I esteem the unseen, the humble, and the willing heart. Entrust even your smallest offering to me, for I take what is ordinary and infuse it with eternal value. As your story unfolds, allow me to write its chapters. Release your grip on the need to control outcomes, and instead, step in rhythm with the leading of my spirit. When you encounter closed doors or sudden detours, do not be discouraged. I see the end from the beginning, and my pathways are marked by wisdom and love. What appears as delay or denial is often my protection and preparation. When a new direction comes unexpectedly, lean into, my goodness, I will never lead you where my grace cannot keep you. You do not journey alone, for I have placed you within a tapestry of relationships community to strengthen, challenge, and encourage you. Let your heart be open to both give and receive from others, for my love is often expressed through human hands and voices. Vulnerability builds connection, and as you extend yourself in kindness, generosity, and understanding, you reflect my heart to the world. Even the wounds inflicted by others are not beyond my ability to heal. Let forgiveness be the language that draws you back into wholeness. Where there is division, be an instrument of reconciliation. When you are tempted to withdraw, remember I am always reaching toward you, drawing you near, and sending others to walk alongside you. There are moments when you feel the shadows around you growing heavy, when it seems as though doubt and suspicion press in from every side. Yet I urge you, do not mistake the darkness for the absence of my presence. Even in those seasons where the road is shrouded and every step feels uncertain, remember that I am moving with you, closer than your own breath. I weave light even through the confusion, and I am teaching you to see possibilities where the world would show you only barriers. Let your faith grow not because the pathway is cleared, but because in the midst of the unknown, you have chosen to trust that I am enough, your strong and unwavering anchor. When your heart aches for restoration and for vindication where you've been wronged or misunderstood, bring those hurts to me without shame or pretense. Your wounds do not repel me. They draw my compassion even closer. Every tear you have shed is counted and precious to me. In those secret groanings that words cannot express, my spirit intercedes for you. Release the burden of needing to prove yourself to others. I delight in your openness. I hold the keys to healing what no person on earth can reach within you. In my timing, I will provide clarity and peace, and sometimes the peace comes even when circumstances remain rough, for my peace is not of this world, but of my heart. Patience and waiting are not detours, but necessary chapters in your story. What seems like delay is often my woven grace, protecting you, shaping you, and preparing you for what I see ahead. Trust that I measure out your days with wisdom, giving you exactly the strength you need for each one. Resist the temptation to compare your season to another's. Every life unfolds under my careful attention, and your unique journey has meaning in both its stillness and motion. You carry within you a longing to be seen and understood, to have your desires and dreams known. I see the dreams you have barely whispered, the hopes you keep shielded for fear they might never come to pass. I want you to bring those dreams into the light, not because I am unaware of them, but because in sharing them with me, your heart joins in my creative process. You are designed to walk closely with me, surrendering your plans so that we may craft something richer and deeper together. The dreams I nurture within you will not be for your own striving alone. When you allow me to lead, you will find fulfillment that surprises and transcends what you could have achieved by your own strength. My beloved one, I long for you to know your worth is not tethered to your performance, your reputation, or the outcome of your latest effort. You are valued because I made you, because I call you mine. Nothing and no one can reduce or erase that worth. In your moments of triumph and in your times of stumbling, my affection remains a constant embrace. Rest in that assurance. When your heart is plagued by anxiety or the frenetic pace of striving, let me remind you that you belong. You are cherished, and you are never too much or not enough for me. My delight in you was established long before you took your first breath. When anger rises or sorrow sits heavily upon your chest, do not try to contain or hide these emotions. I do not ask you to suppress the fullness of your feelings. Instead, bring them honestly into my presence. Lament, rage, weep, and laugh. Each expression finds a safe place in my love. I am not a distant observer. I am the one who gathers your broken pieces and patiently binds them with hope. I have made you in my image, and your spectrum of emotion is evidence of my complexity, not a sign of failure. As you engage with others, you will encounter disappointment times where others will not meet your needs, understand your motives, or reciprocate your gestures of love. Let me teach you the freedom that comes from forgiveness, not a passive acceptance of injustice, but a strong and active choice to release others from the debts you feel they owe. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is entrusting the burden of justice and mercy to me. As you forgive, you will step into a greater liberty, a heart unshackled from bitterness, able to love in ways that reflect my nature more deeply. Your journey will always involve intersections with those who are wounded, those who lash out, withdraw, or disappoint you. In these relationships, I invite you to see with my eyes beyond the surface to the longing and pain beneath. Compassion is not weakness. It is the muscle of my kingdom. If you find it difficult to give what you have not received, let me fill you first. The more you draw from my well, the more you will have to give others, even those who may never thank or acknowledge you. Let love become your distinguishing mark, not as a requirement, but as the inevitable fruit of my spirit alive in you. I am invested in every detail of your development. The hard seasons refine you, not to strip you of joy, but to purify your vision and strengthen your heart. Through every trial, I am imparting wisdom, endurance, and resilience. There are treasures only discovered through adversity, courage you never knew you had, compassion you had not yet tasted, faith that holds fast when everything wavers. Embrace these gifts, knowing they are being forged in you by my hand, for purposes greater than you can yet perceive. When you struggle with self-doubt, or feel the pressure of unrealistic expectations, quiet your soul and remember who I am. I am your shepherd, guiding, protecting, correcting, and providing. I will not abandon you to your fears or failures. When the world clamors for your attention and tries to define your value by fleeting standards, anchor yourself in my unchanging truth. Walk in step with me, not the crowds. Let your identity be shaped by my unwavering voice. As you practice this, you will develop a strength that is unmoved by circumstance, and a vision that reaches beyond today into eternity. I call you to be present in this moment, to put aside regrets of yesterday and fears about tomorrow. My grace is available for you now, exactly where you are, not where you wish you could be. Steady your heart. Listen for my gentle encouragement. Breathe in the reality that you are held, safe, and seen. I am doing a new work within you, one that patience and daily trust will reveal. Keep coming back to me, letting my words define your days. Even as you find yourself navigating the complexities of your days, I am intimately involved in the details you overlook. Every hair numbered, every sigh noticed, every tremor of your heart held in the palm of my hand. When the demands of life press in and make you question your adequacy, I remind you that your limitations are my invitations. Your weakness invites my strength. Your confusion opens the way for my wisdom to shine. I do not sigh at your questions or shrink back from your doubts. Instead, I invite you deeper into honest conversation, reassuring you that questions are not weaknesses but bridges to greater understanding. In the quiet hours when you wrestle with anxieties about the future or regrets about the past, I am the calm beneath your storm. My voice does not add to your turmoil. Rather, it is the quiet that steadies your soul and reminds you that you are never alone. In a world that clamors for perfection and performance, I see beyond your surface. I embrace you as you are, not as you strive to be. Your hidden fears are no secret to me, and yet my response is always compassion. I come to you wrapped in the gentle touch of morning sunlight, the unexpected smile of a stranger, the quiet conviction in your own heart that whispers, "You are loved." When you wonder if your story matters, remember that I am the author who writes with redemption in every chapter. Nothing is wasted, not even your heartbreaks. Every disappointment, every setback, even those that seem irredeemable, are threads I tenderly weave into beauty. There are times when discouragement seeks to settle over you like a fog, obscuring your confidence in my faithfulness. In those moments, let my promises be your anchor. Let the memory of my past faithfulness become the lens through which you view the present. I have not brought you this far just to leave you. When the mountains ahead appear insurmountable, and the path behind you too distant to return, trust that beneath your feet I am laying new ground. I am the steady rock beneath shifting sands. My child, hope is not a fragile wish, but a sturdy bridge, supported by my unchanging character. It is easy to believe that you must earn my favor, that relentless striving will draw me nearer. But my love is a gift, not a wage. You cannot purchase or perform your way into my affection. It is already yours, constant and unwavering. When you stumble, when your faith flickers like a fading flame, I am not the judge waiting to condemn, but the gentle breath that fans the ember back to life. My patience with you is not worn thin by your failures. Instead, I delight in every small movement of your heart toward me, every honest prayer whispered in longing, every effort to choose kindness when resentment calls your name. These simple, sacred acts are mighty in my sight. Seasons of waiting can feel like wandering in a wilderness without end. The absence of immediate answers can stir frustration, yet even here, I am working. While you scan the horizon for breakthrough, I am nurturing deep roots within you. The fruit you long for often grows in hidden places, away from public view. Trust that in these unseen moments, I am shaping you into someone who can hold the blessings I desire to give. I am committed not only to your happiness, but to your wholeness. Pain and pruning are not my punishment. They are tools in the loving hands of your gardener. I prune away what will hinder your growth, not because I am displeased, but because I see the promise within you. Sometimes your heart aches for recompense or vindication. Wounds inflicted by others or injustices long suffered may seem to demand your constant attention. Release these burdens to me. Vengeance, justice, and restoration rest in my hands, not yours. I see the stories that have not yet found closure. I know the secret hurts you bury under busy schedules and practice smiles. Place your pain in my care, confident that I am both just and merciful. Where the world offers only apathy or retribution, I offer healing that reaches deeper than the pain itself. I encourage you to risk vulnerability with me. You can be truly known without fear in my presence. When the world misjudges you or overlooks what you carry, I see it all. I understand you in ways no one else can. Pour out your disappointments, your confusion, your fragmented hopes. My listening is never bored or impatient. I do not minimize your suffering or rebuke your messy feelings. You do not have to sanitize your soul before coming close. My love is not threatened by your honesty, and my heart does not recoil from your mess. Let yourself remember the moments when you sensed my nearness, whether in laughter with friends, the hush of dawn, or a flicker of hope rising when you least expected it. These are not accidents. They are reminders that I am shaping beauty from the raw clay of your life. Every act of compassion, every moment you choose forgiveness over bitterness, is a collaboration with me in bringing goodness to your world. You were made for communion with me. Any sense of loneliness is a gap I am eager to fill. Invite me into your every moment. The celebrations and the disappointments, the ordinary routines and the extraordinary milestones. I delight not only in your victories, but in your attempts, your persistence, and your willingness to begin again. Your prayers do not have to be eloquent or lengthy to reach me. A sigh, a tear, a longing is received by me as precious. I hear the words spoken and the ones too heavy to voice. Rather than striving for perfection in prayer, simply let me meet you in truth. Be present, for I am always present. Trust that your spiritual hunger honors me more than hollow rituals. I am after your heart, not empty words or empty gestures. Bring your whole self to me, your delight and your disappointment, your awe and your anxiety. In this sacred exchange, you will find that I offer peace in place of panic, hope where there was despair, and light that no shadow can overcome. You are not alone in your pursuit of meaning and connection. My spirit is your counselor and comforter, nearer than breath, wiser than the voice of fear. When you face decisions and uncertainties, pause and invite me into your process. I do not demand that you solve every dilemma on your own. Instead, I offer my presence as your guide and assurance. I will provide wisdom, sometimes through the unexpected advice of another, sometimes through a deep knowing in your heart, and sometimes through a whispered clarity that settles your spirit. You are not abandoned to confusion or destined to walk in circles. With each step, I am gently aligning you with my best, even when my timing confounds your expectations. There is more unfolding than you perceive. I am not limited by the boundaries of your understanding or the limitations of your resources. Where you see impossibility, I see pathways not yet discovered. Your story is not finished. It is being written day by day, breath by breath, in partnership with me. Remain open to surprise, trusting that my goodness does not run out, and my creativity far exceeds your imagination. Let your heart rest in the assurance that you are not forgotten, not overlooked, and never inconsequential to me. Let us consider how easily you underestimate the ripple effect of your smallest actions. It is easy to believe that the ordinary pieces of your day, an encouraging word, a patient glance, a shared laugh, a silent prayer, are lost in the noise of the world. But I want to invite you to see them anew through my eyes. Like a seed hidden in the dark earth, these seemingly minor acts burst beneath the surface, sending roots and shoots that will one day transform entire landscapes. Your life, though it sometimes feels routine or unnoticed, is brimming with opportunities to water the world with goodness. Do not disregard your presence in the stories of others, even when you feel unremarkable. Trust that I am weaving these moments together into something magnificent, a tapestry bright with hope, compassion, and joy. When you love in small ways, you echo the grand rhythm of my own love, and nothing offered sincerely to another is wasted. There are times when you face setbacks that seem insurmountable, when the pressing weight of doubts tries to suffocate your vision. Pain and disappointment threaten to color everything gray. Yet, I would have you remember this. Nothing that comes against you can outshine the purpose I have carried in my heart for you since before your first breath. In those moments when you feel powerless, recall how my strength flourishes best right in the place of your weakness. It is often there in your honest surrender, your tears, your questions that something unbreakable is born. I see every fracture of your heart, every disappointment, every hidden hope. I collect them all, not one overlooked. The difficulties that tempt you to withdraw from the world hold within them the possibility of a deeper intimacy with me, a discovery that your sufficiency rests not in achievement, but in relationship. I am not ashamed of your need. Draw near and let me cradle your pain. In my presence, burdens are transformed, and wounds begin their healing from the inside out. Let your heart rest from the relentless pursuit of measuring up. You do not have to win my love, nor lose it by your mistakes. There are no scales in my house weighing your worth, no endless ladder for you to climb. I choose you for love's sake, not for what you accomplish or prove. I draw near when you fall short, enfolding you with grace, not disappointment. When you set down your shame and let yourself be fully seen, I rejoice. If you stumble and fall, know that I reach to lift you gently. Do not turn away from my hand. The world will try to teach you that value comes from performance, that affection must be earned. But I whisper a better story over you, a story rooted in my delight, not in fear. Keep coming as you are, again and again, no matter how many times it takes. That is how trust grows and shadows loosen their hold. I invite you to cultivate gratitude for the ground beneath your feet, whatever season you find yourself in. Perhaps you are walking through abundance, everything blooming and bright. Give thanks and share it freely, letting generosity soak your days. Or maybe you are in a season of waiting or lack, where growth is hidden and answers seem slow to come. Even here, find the small beauties that break through the soil, a birdsong at dawn, the laughter of a friend, the warmth of hope returning after sorrow. Gratitude is not denial of the hard places. It is acknowledgement that I am faithful in every circumstance. It is choosing to notice that miracles quietly surround you, that my gifts are scattered along the ordinary path. As you practice gratitude, even for what you do not yet understand, your spirit expands to receive more. There are voices, both outer and inner, that judge you harshly or deceive you with fears. Sometimes these voices sound convincing, whispering that you are alone or that your efforts are pointless. But I would have you tune your ears to the truth that I speak over you, a truth stronger than every lie. You are not forgotten. You are not standing on shifting sand, but resting in the palm of my hand. Whenever fear tries to steal your peace, anchor yourself in the knowing that I am with you, present in the very breath you take. You do not walk unaccompanied. My spirit abides faithfully, even through the darkest valley and in seasons of confusion. You are hemmed in before and behind, a cherished companion on this sacred journey. Let your kindness extend beyond the circle of those who are easy to love. Offer forgiveness where resentment once lived. Bless those who have not returned your affection. Pray for those who have wounded you, and watch how your heart grows wide with freedom. When it is hard, remember that your forgiveness does not excuse injustice, but rather releases you from bitterness and frees you to move unburdened. I know how difficult it can be to let go of wounds. Invite me into those tangled places. Let me soften what has grown hard, teaching you to love as I love, without reservation or bargain. As you practice mercy, even imperfectly, you reveal my heart to the world. You may wonder sometimes if you are strong enough for the calling placed before you. Hear me. What matters most is not your self-reliance, but your willingness to trust, to step forward even when your knees tremble. The work I begin in you, I am faithful to complete. My power is not threatened by your uncertainty. Bring everything, the questions, hopes, anxieties, and dreams to me each day. In my hands, nothing is wasted. Even your doubts can become the soil where new faith takes root. Answers do not always arrive on your timetable, yet patience formed through waiting is often the workshop of wisdom and depth. When you feel drawn to give up, to hide, or to quiet your deepest hopes, I invite you instead to remain open to possibility, to change, to joy after mourning. Your story is not finished, and no mistake, disappointment, or closed door can ultimately thwart what I desire to do in and through you. Stay awake to moments of wonder that interrupt the ordinary. Let your heart notice the ways I speak, in beauty that startles you, in a peaceful silence that stills your worry, in the loving persistence of those who care for you. I am continually weaving newness, even where it seems impossible. Wait with expectation, for surprises are part of my delight. In every season, in both the laughter and the tears, know that you are seen and cherished. Hold these truths close. You are not a burden. Your voice matters. Your hopes are precious to me. Invite me into the hidden corners of your story. I will meet you there, ready to bring light, renewal, and purpose beyond what you can imagine. I see how you yearn for security amidst the unpredictability of life, looking for something that will not slip away or disappoint you. I am here, unchanging, steady, and good. The things you grasp the tightest are often those most prone to slipping through your fingers. But I want you to open your hands and find that my presence does not leave. My promises endure. There will be moments when you feel the ache of uncertainty pressing on your mind, questions that swirl about tomorrow and anxiety settling over your heart. Even so, I remain present with you in every unknown, not just as a distant observer, but as the one who holds the whole story of your life. You may not see each twist and turn, but the road is familiar to me, and there is beauty even in places you have not walked. When you are tempted to measure your worth by your achievements, by the approval of others, or by the progress you make on your own goals, come back to me. Let me remind you of who you are, handcrafted by my wisdom, beloved long before your first breath, chosen not because of your flawless record, but because of my boundless love. My affection for you does not wax and wane with your moods or mistakes. Let your heart exhale into this truth: your identity is secure in me, and the world cannot snatch away what I have declared over you. You may long to be more, you may lament what you have not yet done, but please remember that my love is not measured as you measure yourself. The disappointments you face, the ones that linger in your memory and echo in your thoughts, do not cause me to turn away. In fact, those are the very moments when I draw nearer, coaxing tender hope out of the ashes of your pain. Every sigh and silent tear is a melody I treasure, a prayer I hear and hold. When you grieve what has not been, or what you have lost, remember that I am the comforter who weeps with you, and who also brings new life from barren seasons. Resist the urge to numb your pain, or pretend it doesn't matter. Instead, bring it close to me. Let me minister to the places in you that most need healing. You are not alone in your struggles. I rejoice in your laughter, yes, but I also bend low to meet you in your doubts and failings. There is no shame in needing me. It is your truest posture, that humble turning of the heart toward my strength. Where others might judge, I offer compassion. Where shame whispers, I declare bravery. My grace seeks you out in every shadow. Merge your weaknesses with my power, and see how transformation takes root. Even your imperfections, when surrendered, give me delight, for they draw you closer to the source of true wholeness. Sometimes the journey feels so long, the horizon still hidden in morning mist. You try to be patient, but impatience creeps in, making you wonder if I have forgotten, or if you have wandered too far to find your way back to joy. Listen, I see your longing, and I hold your days in my sovereignty. What I begin, I always finish. The process is not wasted. With every step, even those that seem backward, you are growing stronger in trust, richer in understanding, deeper in love. I am not rushed, nor am I inattentive. In the waiting, your faith deepens, and your roots reach toward living water that will not fail you. The world may rush and shout, insisting you hurry, achieve, possess, and prove yourself. I invite you to a quieter rhythm, the gentle cadence of walking with me. Here in my presence, you learn to savor the blessings and release the burdens. You are not defined by the pace of the world, but by the peace I impart to your soul. Listen for my voice amid the noise. That voice calls you beloved, blessed, guided, and free. You hunger for meaning, for assurance that your life matters, that your story is significant in the great tapestry of existence. Trust that I see all the hidden victories, the faithful choices, the kindnesses no one else notices. Nothing you do in love is ever wasted in my sight. The acts of service, the quiet prayers, the words spoken in season, all these I weave together for good. Trust not only in your visible progress, but also in the unseen seeds planted along the way. I am the gardener who delights in every tender shoot. Forgive, as I have forgiven you. Release yourself from yesterday's failures and the grudges that cling to your memory. To hold on to bitterness only poisons your spirit and clouds your vision of my mercy. My forgiveness is inexhaustible, flowing over you like a river, washing away shame and regret. Open your heart and let this living water sweep over those places where you feel accused or weighed down. When you offer forgiveness to others, you are not denying the hurt. They do not escape justice, but you are releasing yourself into the freedom I died to give you. Let this be a daily practice. Receive, release, and rejoice in grace. Walk with humility. The world exalts pride and self-sufficiency, but I draw near to those who are humble, who know their need, and invite my wisdom. Humility is not self-hatred, but clear-sighted dependence. It means choosing my guidance over your own stubbornness, seeking understanding rather than insisting on your own way. With each humble step, you invite me to lead, and there you find protection, direction, and favor. Celebrate small beginnings. Do not despise where you are just because it feels insignificant. It is often in the hidden, unremarkable places that the greatest miracles begin. A single act of kindness, a whispered prayer, a moment of surrender. These are seeds I use to grow hopes of righteousness. If you wait only for dramatic signs, you will miss my subtle movements. Rejoice in every small victory, every gentle nudge of my spirit, every opportunity to choose goodness over cynicism, hope over despair. Let your worship rise not only in songs and words, but in your choices, your work, your relationships. Worship is a way of life, an orientation of your heart toward me, in the mundane and the magnificent. When gratitude becomes your language, you train your eyes to see my fingerprints everywhere. Even on the hardest days, choose thanksgiving. Remember, I do not withhold myself from those who seek me earnestly. Draw near, and I will reveal my heart more fully, and fill your days with light you cannot manufacture on your own. The invitation stands in every moment. Walk with me, and together we will shape a life of purpose, peace, and holy wonder. I have walked with you through the winding corridors of your heart, and now, beloved, I urge you not to let this encounter fade as a distant memory. Guard the seeds I have planted within your spirit, for they yearn to break through the soil of your daily life and bear fruit in abundance. My presence goes before you and surrounds you. It is not a fleeting warmth you must chase, but a covering you can rest beneath at every moment, even as you step into the uncertain future at hand. Trust that your every trembling hope and your quietest longing is already known and cherished in my sight. Release the weight of your past, relinquish the illusions of control, and allow my completeness to become the lens through which you interpret every disappointment, every small victory, and every stubborn question that arises. You are not defined by what has wounded you, or by the shadow of what you fear to become. You are defined by my love, shaped by my mercy, and destined for my purpose. Let your gratitude rise like the morning sun, illuminating hidden places within you that once seemed forlorn or unreachable. Welcome my whispers throughout your day. When you face decisions both great and small, pause and remember, I am your faithful guide, eager to show a way where none seemed possible before. Allow my delight in you to wash away the residue of shame and regret, turning even your weakness into a gateway for my power. Step away from the temptation to compare your path with another's. My design is personal and exquisite, tailored for you alone. Delight in the mystery of how I weave together joy and sorrow, laughter and tears, all for your good and my glory. Draw near, and let me reawaken your courage. You are not meant to survive in isolation. but to flourish in the shelter of my presence and the fellowship of others who also bear my image. Reach beyond yourself, daring to embrace those who seem unlovable, for in doing so, you mirror my heart to a wounded world. Restore roads long left abandoned, breathe peace where division once reigned, and carry my healing wherever you go. Your obedience born out of love will ripple outward farther than you can see. Remember, acts of devotion need not be spectacular in the eyes of the world. Even the smallest offering, given in sincerity, becomes significant in my hands. Let your faith become a living, breathing song, one that infuses your routines, your rest, and your relationships with purpose. When your confidence falters, recall the countless moments you felt my nearness. Let these memories anchor you as storms rise and dissipate. Do not fear failure, for within every stumble I provide both cleansing and renewal. Allow my grace to define your next steps, not your own calculations or outcomes. Surrender anxiety, for I have already gone before you, preparing blessings where your sight cannot yet reach. Invite me into your questions, your laughter, your tears, your quiet moments when words cannot express your longing. There is no space too ordinary, no event too mundane for my spirit to inhabit. As you open yourself to me, I will fill you with fresh vision, hope reborn, and the tenacity to persist when others may not understand. Lean on me when the nights feel long and your strength is spent. I will be your restorer. Let kindness become the language you speak, overflowing first to those nearest you, and then out into places still aching for hope. Let this word become flesh within you. Be present in every moment, attentive to the gentle nudges of conviction and the invitations to joy that come wrapped in laughter, in silence, and even in pain. Remain teachable, willing to be shaped and molded for my purpose, trusting that I waste nothing, not even your waiting, your longing, or your wondering. Stay rooted in my promises, for none will fall to the ground without being fulfilled in my perfect timing. Take courage, not because circumstances are easy or certain, but because I am with you, and I have called you by name. Let this calling become the anchor for your soul, defying the voices that seek to diminish who you are or distort my truth. Live as one who belongs, who is beloved, and who is unshakably secure in the knowledge that there is nothing, not even the deepest shadow, which can separate you from me. Amen. Now rise, cherished one, and walk boldly with me. Let this moment change you. Reach for my hand daily and watch as I lead you from glory to glory, shaping your life in